Let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love. Hope inside, 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 bringing hope and make you feel alright. Rainbow, the promise, the future, and life. Let this light that's within me shine to the whole world, whole world. Light, let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love. Oh, inside, inside, yeah. Inside,
I see you, Danny. Welcome.
make you feel alright.
I hope you were good. Happy Monday to you.
Rainbow, the promise, the future, and life.
Yeah, I see you, user
Let the
591.
light that's
Welcome,
within
Ola.
me shine to the whole world, whole
You are welcome, Abby. Thanks for joining. Let's share the live. Let's share the live as we're coming. Moyi, thanks for joining. I see you. Happy Monday.
Inside,
Welcome to Inside. How has your day been? I hope not too tiring.
inside,
Okay, good evening, Inyak.
bringing hope.
You're just 1 hour ahead of me, actually. It's 8 p.m. here in the UK. Good evening to you. I hope your day has been good. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. Please help share this live. Let's invite our friends to be part of this. Thank you, Inyak. So I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. You are welcome. Thank you for liking the live. Marian, I see you. Princess, you're welcome. $2 I think. Yeah, some good. I thank God. I can't complain. It's amazing, we always kind of whinge about the weather here in the UK. But imagine it's about 21 degrees and it's somewhat cold. And I asked my Siri, it says it's gonna kind of rain soon. So we'll see. But all in all, we thank God. Thank God it's a beautiful start to another week. And the month of August is going so gradually. Thank you so much for asking, Iliax. I really appreciate that. Thank you. I hope your day has been good as well. Or is it your bedtime already? I needed to hang around on Inside today. Because I have another interesting topic. And of course, I have my puzzle. You might get the puzzle today. Who knows? So please help share to your friends. And the easiest way to do that is just click on your screen and the names will come up. Just press send to all your friends. Let them be part of this talk today. Kiki Wealth, I see you. Thanks for joining. You're from South Africa, I believe. And where I live, we do have the UK kind of weather though. I can imagine. Here it's funny. Sometimes you have 3 weathers in one day. In the morning it's cold and foggy. In the afternoon it's probably sunny. In the evening it's raining, and then all in one day. So if you're gonna have a long day out, make sure you have your coat, make sure you have your umbrella as well, just to be on the safe side. Yeah. Thank you for joining. I know. And it's amazing how sometimes we let the weather affect our mood. When it's raining and rainy, people just feel droopy, sad, and all of that. I don't know why we let it. But like I always say, this is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Okwe, I see you. Thanks for joining. Okwe, help share this live to your friends, because I'm going to be kicking off soon with the talk because it's a bit long. And I really want us to, come and talk about it as well, because anytime I bring this kind of topics, we can relate one way or another, or we know someone who can relate with it. But SA is generally warmer than UK. Personally, I thrive living in the UK. Well, some people love the snow when it's cold. For me, I just want it to come and snow on Christmas Day only. And by the time I go to sleep and wake up, I want it all gone. I don't want no cold, no. Yeah, some people like it, whether rain, shine, cold. But it's all good. As long as, it suits our body, that's the most important thing. Because some people, once it's like the winter, they just fall ill, all sorts, runny nose, it's like their nose is never dry, all sorts happen. So I guess it depends on the individual. Oh, okay. Yeah, because I haven't really started, that's why. So I'm just kind of bantering with you. Thank you for that. At least you can hear me better now. I just like the soft music underneath somewhere there. Thank you so much. I know we shouldn't allow the weather to determine whether we're happy, sad, or whatever. But I guess some people do. So it's amazing. It's amazing how the weather gets under some people's skin. I know. When it's cold and shivery, at least we have the opportunity of putting on the heater, to kind of keep us warm. And then when it's so hot like this, if you're, lucky enough to have the air conditioner on to keep cool as well. Otherwise, good old fan, will do the trick. Ify, I see you. Thanks for joining. I hope our Monday has been good so far. So far, so good. We thank God, we cannot complain. So guys, help share this live to as many people as possible. I'm going to be starting off with my talk soon. And as you can see on there, that is the topic for today. Shame. I know. Shame. I have my South African goddaughters. They always say, shame, sissy, aibo, shame. I don't know if in Nyak you can relate with that. I always, go along and say it, especially when we're being cheeky. They just say, hey, aibo, sissy, shame, sissy. But this one is is a topic that anyone and everyone can relate to. And one of the reasons I kind of bring this kind of talk here to the open spaces, so we can talk about it openly. And if we're struggling with it, we can. I know exactly what. Okay. Thank you for that. I learned quite a lot from them. They taught me how to sing some South African songs. And there's some, I don't know whether I still remember the words. I don't want to kill it now. There's one that I really like. Wazamoya oingwele, something like that. Usio leleleni, ngogeko akulungi. Wazamoya oingwele, something like that. It's been many years back. And I like this one, like, go see Gifitle, Padigwe Gazi, Panami. Something like that. I hope, apologies to all the South Africans listening. That is the only thing I remember. Those songs, they were really nice. I love singing them. Wow, they taught you beautiful. I know they did. And they taught me this thing we do, like, I always intimidate people in church with that. When, people are shouting hallelujah, I just go and people are like, hi, Fumi. So yeah, I really learned a lot from them. They taught us those South African songs. I just love singing them. It's so like, I can't even describe. But yeah, nice chatting with you, Yanks. Thank you so much. Yeah, amazing. They're all grown up now. It's been years. I bet that's about over 15 years. If I still remember the songs. They're kind of stuck in there. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining. FunmiRoyal, I see you. Thanks for joining. EX, please do me a favor and help share the like. Come, Holy Spirit, please lead us on the way. If you're not there, there's no solution. Oh, definitely. Yeah, sometimes, when you go on the YouTube or so you see the translations, or when you go online to check, you see the translations, and I'm like, they're just beautiful songs, you know. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know what it means, but like, Sissy, oh, you can check the meaning. That's the translation for the first song. Oh, okay. You see, I can't remember the name of that group now. It's been years, but I love that song so much. I love it so much. Thank you so much, Inyang, so for starting us off on that, you know, way back memory lane. That's the transition for the first song. Okay, thank you so much. Help share the live to your friends. Let them be part of this talk today. And I'm looking at this topic titled Shame, and I bet we all can relate to it. One way or another, we may have experienced it or probably experiencing it right now. But let's talk about it because, I mean, we're not perfect. Life happens, things happen. We have to learn from it, learn to move on so we can still live a good life. So I'm going to be breaking this topic down and kind of expanding it, try to cover as much aspect of it as possible so that whoever is going through this, you know, can kind of free their mind and free themselves off of shame. Things happen, you feel ashamed, you feel the shame and all, but it shouldn't be the end of us. It shouldn't be the end of who we are as a person. So I'm going to be breaking it down some more, and I'd love to hear your perspective about this. When I finish my talk, I'm going to bring us up. Let's talk about this shame. Let us shame today, if I can put it that way. So guys, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate. Thank you for liking the live. Let's share to our friends. Click down on your screen and send to as many people as possible to be part of this talk. So this topic, you know, is one, like I said, it touches everyone at some point in time in their life, and shame is a very complex emotion that can deeply affect our thoughts, our behaviors, even our relationships. So we need to kind of talk about it so that we don't have to be in denial or shy away from it. Let's talk about it so we can offload if need be. It is often an uncomfortable subject to address, but understanding it is very essential for our emotional well-being and our personal growth. We learn from it, we move on. We learn from it, we'll grow. We learn from it, and being there, done that. We shouldn't allow that to bring us down or make our head bow down at all times because of whatever happened that brought about that shame. So in order to kind of understand the angle at which I'm coming, I like to break it down some more. I like to keep it simple and real here on Inside. So let's understand what shame is. Let's understand what shame is. Shame is more than just a fleeting feeling of embarrassment, okay? It's a powerful emotion that arises when perceived that we've violated a social norm, or fallen short of our own or other people's expectations, or revealed a part of ourselves that we believe is unworthy or flawed, that we believe, not necessarily meaning it is, because sometimes our mind, it just goes at this negative tangent sometimes, and the things you say about yourself is sounding so negative all the time because you're ashamed of a thing or people. Some people are making you feel ashamed of certain things about yourself. So these are things we need to tackle today so that they can live a shame-free life. So unlike guilt, which is about feeling bad for something we've done, shame is about feeling bad for who we are. It's an emotion that attacks the core of our identity. I'll give you so many examples, as we go along in the talk. Some people might say because of this size, you should feel ashamed of yourself. You're too big, you're too thin, you're too long, you're too short, you're too yellow, you're too black, you're too this, you're too that. And because they go on so much about it, they make you feel like it's the real thing, is how, things supposed to be. And you look at yourself, you feel, oh, you're too big. And then you feel ashamed. You don't even want to go out. You don't want to mingle with people. Why should you feel ashamed of who you are? We all cannot be the same size, first of all. Because the way we process these things, like I said, it's not what you have done. Some people, if you look at their parents, they're on the big side and they've passed that gene to you. You're probably going to be almost times 2 of their sizes, except you're really intentional about maybe what you eat or how you live life and all that. But sometimes there's nothing, even if you eat salad 24/7, you're still going to be like that because of who your parents are. So don't be ashamed because you're on the big size or you're on the skinny side. Once upon a time, I was so skinny. If you look, see, you can still see a bit of my bones there. That bit of me will never get covered. I don't know for, no matter how big I get, it's there. I was so skinny that it's like bones. Sometimes if they don't shake out too much, you will break. In fact, when some people see me like years after, they're like, "Fumi, you've grown bigger or something." I'm like, yeah, I can't remain that skinny person because people will wonder, are you sick or something, you know? So don't be ashamed of who you are and how you are. Don't let people make you feel somewhat complex about yourself or don't not liking yourself. So please, I want us to look at the origin of shame. Well, some of it, shame can originate from various sources. And, I'm going to break it down so you understand. And please, listen, reflect on this talk. And if you're the one finding yourself, maybe people are making you feel ashamed of who you are or how you are. Some people, it could be some sort of accident and they have scars. It could be anything. And people look at you funny. You're almost ashamed. You don't want to go out. You don't want to mingle. You don't want to live life just because of maybe a deformity or something like that. Please, let's be mindful. And if we are the ones making people feel shame for whatever reason, let's self-reflect as well. If you don't want people doing something to you, don't do it to others. It's as simple as that. So we can break it down when we try to find the origin of shame. It could be from childhood experiences. Many people's feelings of shame can be traced back to their childhood days. Critical parents, bullying, or even well-meaning adults who set unrealistic expectations can instill a deep sense of inadequacy. It's like, once upon a time, there's nothing I do. It's like, look at you, shame on you, it's not well done, and I didn't know this for a long time. In fact, up until about 3-4 years ago, I did not know about me that I don't take compliments well, because when people say some good things, I'm like, okay, I'm waiting for the bad side, just tell me, they're saying all these nice things. Instead of me to take it in and just appreciate them back or say thank you, I'll be like, okay, I'm just waiting for the criticisms. I'm just waiting for that. So likewise, shame. Sometimes it could be because of where we grew up, the way, our parents or guardians were with us. Everything you do is like they're just shutting you down, talking down on you, comparing you, making you feel ashamed about who you are, how you do things. Some people, they're very slow in doing things, but when they're done, you cannot fault it. But then some people make them feel ashamed that you're a slow person. You're too slow. I can't give you this to do. Why should we? We need to learn to be tolerant of one another. So if you're a parent now, bringing up children, are you making them feel shame about themselves? The way they are, the things they do, how they do things? Please, parents, I'm pleading on the behalf of the children. Let them grow with a sense of confidence, not with shame. So let's be mindful, because sometimes even our upbringing, we put it on our children without knowing, because it's the way of life we knew. So, but we can always do better, I believe strongly. And just like I will always say, when we do this talk, let's kind of soul search, let's reflect and see how this relates to us, in our personal lives. Then another cause of origin of shame could be cultural and social norms. Society often imposes standards of beauty, success, and behavior that can lead to shame. And, when we don't measure up, we feel shame. When you go online, you see like perfect pictures, perfect everything, perfect this, perfect that. And then you look at yourself, you feel you're so imperfect. And then you start comparing yourself to other people and you feel you don't measure up, and then you start feeling shame. You're the type that you love to express yourself, but because you feel you're not perfect enough, you're not beautiful enough, you're not handsome enough, you kill that aspect of yourself. And that is not a good thing. So we need to be careful. Whatever culture we find ourselves, whatever social norms, the norms are really not normal, if I can put it that way. They cannot impose certain things, and you'll be wondering, if you're not this figure, hourglass figure, we don't want to see you, kind of a thing. Says who? I am fearfully and wonderfully made. That is what my Bible tells me. So no matter what, whether I am short, whether I am tallest, whether I am fat or thin or whatever, I am unique in my own person. And nobody, no society, no culture should make you feel shame for who you are. So we need to be careful, whatever culture we find ourselves, whatever they've presented to be norm. And you and I know that this is not normal. Everybody cannot be size 8. Everybody cannot be size 6. So these standards vary across cultures, but are powerful in shaping our self-perception. Because you're from this tribe, you have to look certain ways. For whatever reason, your parent gave birth to you and you look certain way, you don't fit into the tribe because of God knows what. And then you start feeling ashamed. You don't want to be part of that culture. You don't want to be part of this one either, because you feel you don't fit in. You don't represent, the status quo and all of those things. Do not feel shame for who you are. Again, I'll repeat, do not feel shame for who you are. Be yourself. Love yourself. Appreciate yourself. And walk tall. Don't let anybody make you feel less of who you are. Then another origin we can trace to personal failures and mistakes. This one is quite common. So when we fail to meet our own expectations, or when our actions lead to negative consequences, shame can arise from that. So this is often compounded when others judge or criticize us. Fine, you can be chastised, you can be scolded, but after a while, you're hoping that this person have learned from their mistakes. I have learned from my mistake and I want to move on. But every time I turn this way, you keep reminding me, and then that shame wells up on the inside of me again. I feel so downcasted and all of that. No, nobody's perfect. Like I said, we make mistakes, we learn from it, we try to do better, and we'll move on. And sometimes some people will not let you forget certain things, It shouldn't be so. Stop overjudging people because you make them feel ashamed or shame all the time. Stop. If you're the type, please. Once you've talked about it, let it go. Just let it be, so that everybody can move on with their life. Because shame has impact on some people, and it can be grievous to some people's mental well-being. And once you're not okay mentally, it affects every other aspect of your life. So we need to look into this, reflect on it. Peradventure, you're the type you just found you've made a huge mistake, and you've tried to rectify it, or even if you can't rectify it, the mistake has been made already. It shouldn't be the end of the world. It might be grievous, it might lose money, or it could be whatever it is, but as long as you've learned from it, you have to move past it. Otherwise, it just holds you back there and you can't move on, even in other aspects of your life. So we need to be mindful. And I'm going to look at some impacts of shame so that you can have a better understanding. Shame has profound effects on our mental and emotional health. It can erode our self-esteem. When somebody is constantly telling you you're not good enough, you're not fit in here, you're not this size I want you to be, you're this, you're that, with time you might just lose your self-esteem. You just feel this is like chronic shame, and this can lead to deep-seated belief that we are fundamentally flawed or worthless, which can undermine our self-worth and confidence. You shouldn't allow that to happen, but like I said, this is how shame can impact some individuals, and this can lead to stress, anxiety, even depression, and sometimes could lead to insomnia in some cases, And again, another impact of shame is it leads to isolation. Shame often drives us to hide our perceived flaws from other people, leading to social withdrawal and isolation. It's not healthy. This further expands our feelings of loneliness and depression because you've done something wrong, or because people are body shaming you or whatever, you just hide away in isolation. You don't want to come out to socialize with other people just because some people, quote and unquote. Please do not give such people such power in your life. Don't let anyone make you live in isolation because of shame. What is that? You can never, even twins, I tell you, twins that are so identical, they still do things differently. They can never be the same in total, if you get me. Lisha, thanks for joining. I see you. Help share the live to your friends. Let them be part of this talk. So don't allow anyone to make you live in isolation, make you, not socialize with people, not mingle with people just because maybe you're the type you go to work and then your colleagues are like, oh, we're going off to the pub or we're going off whatever this evening, and you can't wait to run and get out of there because you feel, oh, they've said something about your body or some way you look or whatever it is, and you feel shame and you really don't want to. Once you finish work, you just want to go home. That shouldn't be your way of life just because of what anyone is saying, for that matter. Please don't. And another thing again, it can trigger destructive behaviors in some people. Like I said, a lot of people handle shame in different ways. There's no one way to know how somebody's going to react to it. So we have to be careful that we're not making someone feel shame constantly to the point that, it's triggering destructive behavior from them. So in an attempt, why this is so is because in an attempt to numb the pain of shame, some people may turn to unhealthy coping mechanisms such as substance abuse, eating disorders, or self-harm. Some people, there is no matter what they eat burger, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, they don't grow no fatter than they are. It's just how their gene is. It's just how they're gonna be. They can eat a helicopter or an elephant. They will just be that skinny person, and then there are people around them making them feel, oh, you're so skinny, oh yeah, and they start feeling shame. And then imagine they start eating and eating and eating. Of course, even if you don't grow big, this kind of eating disorder can affect your organs and things like that. So a lot of people suffering from shame, they become entangled in addiction. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Niax, for that submission, really, because they just don't want to think about it. They don't want to think about the feeling of shame and all, so they want to numb that feeling, and they take to addictions. Could be alcohol, could be drugs, could be all sorts, substance abuse and things like that. But why should we? Some people even self-harm, to that extent, to that degree. And some people even find themselves in psychiatric ward just because of that. That's why I say a lot of people react differently to this topic, shame, we're talking about. And again, another impact we can look at is the impact on relationships. So shame can hinder our ability to form healthy relationships. Yes, it can cause us to push others away out of fear of being judged or rejected. So you say to yourself, before somebody rejects you because you look certain way, you will even, kind of chase them away, or you reject them. And this can lead to unhealthy dynamics where we seek constant validation. If somebody doesn't say something good about you, it's like you don't want to mingle with them. You just don't want to have any relations with them. But it shouldn't be so. Just because Mr. A said something shameful to you does not mean Mr. B is going to say the same. But because A have said it, you just push everybody away, and you can't have a relationship by yourself. I mean, you can, but is that all there is to you, really? Because you meet other people, we network with people to gain knowledge, to gain influence, to learn and live life, really. But just because maybe one or two people notices something about you and they're making you feel ashamed all the time, you're not shutting out the whole world altogether. That is not healthy. It is not a healthy way of living. So one of the things I want to clarify again tonight is shame and guilt. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago we talked about guilt on this platform? So it's important to differentiate between shame and guilt. because while they're kind of related, they have different implications. Thank you guys for joining. Please let's share to our friends to be part of this talk. I believe we can learn a thing or two. I want to learn from you. Hope I see you. Thanks for joining. So they are kind of different and they have different implications. So guilt is the feeling that arises when we recognize we have done something wrong. So that's kind of different, yeah. And it focuses on our actions and often motivates us to make amends or change our behavior. Meaning, oh, you have done something wrong, you feel bad, you feel guilty, and then you're trying to make amends, maybe seeking forgiveness or trying to make reparation or whatever it is. That is guilt. That is, what is meant by guilt. But shame, on the other hand, is about feeling that we are wrong as a person. Just within you just feel you're wrong. Everything you're doing is wrong. Maybe you did something, somebody look at you in a funny way, you don't know that something is itching them in their eyeballs or whatever, and they looked at, and then you start feeling shame, like, oh, you've done something wrong or whatever. So it's not just about what we did, but who we are at our core. Okay, so while guilt can lead to positive change, shame often leads to negative self-perception and stagnation. So guilt, you've done something wrong, and now, oh, you've recognized that and you're making amends. But the shame is like somebody making you feel shame for anything at all, even when you haven't done wrong. It's like they just make you feel this perpetual shame, and it shouldn't be, because it's a negative way of living. It's a negative way of living life. Sometimes, if you really want to address this in your life, you might have to do away with certain people who always, are the culprits of this feeling of shame in our lives. It may be hard, but in the long run, you want to be healthy mentally, emotionally, and socially, and all of that. So if there's a particular people that always constantly making you feel this shame, you might have to pull back or pull away from them, because it's not a healthy way to live. Then there's a vicious circle of shame. So shame can be self-perpetuating as well. You're the one, you've seen this video, you've seen this perfect body, you just feel your body is not perfect, you're feeling shame. So stop inflicting that shame on yourself. Nobody has come to say to you, because you don't look like an hourglass shape, therefore you're this or you're that. No. So don't put that on yourself. When we feel ashamed, we may withdraw from others. And like I said, no man is an island. The way human beings are wired, we're wired to connect with other people. We're wired to network with other people. So if care is not taken, you might withdraw from others. You might also engage in negative self-talk or avoid situations where you fear shame can come in to bring further shame. Some people, when you say, oh, tell me about yourself, they start saying all the negative things, and you'll be wondering, can they actually hear themselves? Why would they just go straight out for the negatives of them? I don't know, but this is how shame can affect people. So, breaking this cycle requires self-awareness. You have to be aware that this is what you do to yourself, especially the one that is self-inflicted. Self-awareness and a willingness, to confront and challenge underlying beliefs that fuel our shame. So you have to really sit down and look at it. Why am I feeling this shame? What is the root cause of me feeling this shame? And remember, like I said earlier, it could be maybe your childhood days and all this talk you've heard, your mind has kind of kept them. And whilst you're growing up, it start playing back in your mind, and you're so conscious of it now. You're the one hearing those voices in your mind, and it's constantly reminding you how good you're not good enough, you're not this, you're that. And then before you know, you start feeling shame, you start losing your self-esteem, your self-worth, your self-confidence, and a whole lot of things start happening. And sometimes people can outrightly say that, look at this person, they don't even have any confidence in themselves. But you need to look deep and see what is actually making this person appear this way. It might be something they're struggling with. So that's why it's not always good to judge You know, they say don't judge a book by its cover. You might actually be the friend that they need to get them out of that situation. So, having said all of these things, how do we overcome shame? Jede, I see you. Thanks for joining. Please help share to your friends. Let them be part of this talk today. So, how can we overcome shame? I'm going to mention some. I know there are thousands of ways where we can. So, that's what I want to hear from you guys when I finish this talk. Let's put heads together and help one another, especially those who probably are in this situation right now. Like I said, some of us have gone through it, some of us are still going through it. Some might even go through it tomorrow. So, it's kind of equipping us when that thing comes to kind of identify that no, this is who I am. I shouldn't feel shame because of this. So you know beforehand, so that you don't keep torturing yourself mentally. So overcoming shame is not an easy task, but it is possible with the right strategies. Like I said, 1,001 strategies out there, but I'm just going to mention a bit just to kind of help us further this evening. So the first thing, I said it briefly, acknowledge the shame. Because you can't be in denial and you want to solve that problem. You first of all need to sit down. Where is this coming from? Is this somebody who said something to me? Or is it me telling myself that I'm not good enough, I'm this, I'm that? I should feel ashamed for who I am, where I come from, and things like that. So the first step is recognizing when and why you feel ashamed. There's always, to every problem, there's always the root cause of it. If you look deep down, intentionally, you will see it. And again, understanding the triggers and underlying beliefs that cause shame can help you address it directly. For example, if it's from childhood days, you're no longer a child. You're now a full-blown adult. You can make decisions for yourself. Nobody's there to be, hammering down all those negative words to you, negative talks and all of that. So you need to kind of snap out of it, if I can put it that way. So you have to free yourself. You need to address it. I've had sometimes some clients and they keep going on probably in their 40s, 50s, and they still keep repeating certain things they heard when they were children. And my first question will be to them, how old are you now? And they said, I'm like, okay, is this person still in your life? Even most times they're never in their lives again. I mean, at that age. And I'm wondering, is it that you stored all those words somewhere and you keep playing it over and over again and it so affected you that you've lost your confidence and all of these things? They're like, we just break it down and let them see it for what it is. To know that, look, this thing does not have a strong hold on you unless you allow it. Is whatever you allow that will stay in your life. Whatever you disallow will go away. So you have to help them understand that, look, gone are those days. You're now a full-blown adult. You can make decisions for yourself. You can like what you like. You can hate what you hate. You can be yourself, whether you're slow, you're fat, you're thin, you're whatever. Be happy with yourself the way you are. I mean, as long as it's not the doctor saying, okay, you have to lose weight for whatever reason and all. Of course, we'll try our best to live healthy and happy. But otherwise, don't let anyone shame you or body shame you or name shame you or whatever. I remembered growing up, back in the primary school, secondary school days, where maybe some things happen and they just, children, the way they are, they just give you like a nickname and it sticks. And every time in fact, some people even forget your real name completely. They start calling you Shorty or something, And then before you know, you graduated and you're meeting maybe years later on the road or so. Like, oh, Shorty, how are you? And for crying out loud, they've got a name. So you can imagine the kind of stigma. Sometimes it follows people to their adult age. Good evening, Ayonitemi. Thanks for joining. But we should not be the one, doing this to other people. Shorty, is that their name? They've got a name. So now imagine you're full-blown adult. That's like probably 2 decades after somebody seen you on the way to shopping or whatever. And they're like, oh, Shorty. And they're still calling you that nickname, that shameful name that they gave you way in primary school. Why? Why? We need to be careful that we're not even the one doing this to other people. So you need to address it, acknowledge where the shame is coming from. If there are things that trigger it, you need to address it. You cannot just push it aside, because otherwise it's going to be like a monster living with you. Even though you don't acknowledge the monster is there, until you chase that monster away before you are free of it. Denise, thanks for joining. And another one, again, how we can overcome it is challenge negative beliefs. I mean, challenge it. Shame is often rooted in distorted beliefs about oneself, about ourselves, By challenging these beliefs and replacing them with a more accurate and compassionate views, we can begin to reduce the power of shame, make it seem as useless as it can be. So challenge that negative. Somebody calling you whatever, challenge them. Why? What gives you the right to call me this name? What gives you the right to call me fat or thin or whatever? Do you understand? So don't just take it in or live a shameful life because somebody has said something. No, they don't own your life. You have the right to do whatever, hear whatever, reject whatever concerning yourself. So you need to challenge negative beliefs, especially that is being said about you. Don't just sit there and accept it. And again, another one is seek connection. Sharing your experiences with trusted friends, family, or even a therapist can help alleviate shame. Because sometimes it's because over time you've believed in whatever, and it's like your mind has so believed it, you're now so ashamed about God knows what. So sometimes you might need to see a therapist or a very good friend who's a good listener, who's wise, can help you overcome whatever feeling that you've got going. And again, connection with others reminds us that we are not alone in our struggles and that we are worthy of love and acceptance. So sometimes you might have to, maybe it's a group therapy, and then you hear other people talking about how shameful they are, and then you'll be like, oh my God, I thought mine was bad. This person is even worse. And you now see that it's not just you. Other people feel this way and they're there to get help as well. Does not mean what they're feeling is true or what they're feeling is the right thing about them. Otherwise, they won't be there to get help in the first place. It's not normal. It's not healthy. All those kind of negative assumptions of who you think you are or who people say you are. And then over time you believed it and it's just eroded the you that is in there, somewhere in there, Master P, thanks for joining. So seek connection. Don't shut yourself out because you feel ashamed, you're too fat or you're too thin. Sometimes you see some people, they're on the big side, and by the time they dress themselves, they carry themselves, even you feel like you're as big as they are as well. So don't let anybody shame you, especially body shaming. It's very common in these days of technology and what have you. Do not allow anyone to body shame you. You are who you are, and be happy within that space, by yourself, for yourself, with yourself, please. So another one I'm going to mention quickly is practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a friend. Imagine a friend were to come to you and say, I feel so ashamed. Oh, my this, my that. Oh, my face is quirky. Oh, this and this and that. What would you say to that friend? Oh, come off it. You're so beautiful. And say that to yourself. Say to yourself, you're beautiful as well. And stop feeling that shame. Because you didn't create yourself, did you? This is how God has uniquely created you. Love yourself for who you are. We are all different, unique individuals. And don't let somebody make you feel less of that. Soraya, thanks for joining. So self-compassion helps counteract the harsh self-criticisms that often accompanies shame that we're feeling. So be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Don't let this shame eat the you out of you. Danny, welcome. And lastly, I'm going to mention is engage in empowering activities. So taking part in activities that build confidence and a sense of accomplishment can help shift the focus from the shame to personal growth and resilience. whatever I think you're ashamed about, maybe it's the universe or God's way telling you that you can do something about it. Some people, they have some funny shape of face or what have you, and they come out boldly to sell their shape or face. Even you almost want to go and maybe hammer or chisel your face to look like theirs, because they've come out, tried to be bold, to be confident about who they are. And then you even, you'll be like, oh, wow, this person is bold. The way they look is not normal, is this, and that, but they're so bold, they're confident. Yeah, and that's how it should be. Personal growth, personal resilience, you need to build that rather than focus on the shame. So take part in activities that would help you not think about it. You can read books, watch films or videos, go to seminars and things like that to help boost your confidence, your self-esteem and things like that. Don't wallow in shame. And this shame is not even shame to start with, just because somebody named it. So please, let's be mindful. And again, we need to be mindful of the role of forgiveness. Forgiveness plays a crucial role in overcoming shame. You need to forgive yourself. Like I said, it could be something you've done or something, it could be anything at all, but don't feel that shame. How you can overcome it, forgive yourself, let go. Even if it's something you've done to yourself, okay, you feel ashamed, people are calling you names or whatever, you've stopped it, you're trying to move past that. Don't let everybody keep bringing you back to that place of shame. No. So this involves not only forgiving others, maybe people who have called you whatever names, who may have contributed to your feelings of shame, but also forgiving yourself. So self-forgiveness, like I said, self-care, self-forgiveness, self-affirmation and things like that is very good. Self-forgiveness is essential for moving past that shame and embracing a more positive self-identity. You have to move past it in order to live okay, to be okay mentally especially, and emotionally as well. So it shouldn't be, like I said, forgive yourself and move on. At some point you will have to move on if you want to enjoy, living your life. Anything that will boost self-positivity, get engaged in doing so. And again, the importance of vulnerability. I'll mention this briefly. So vulnerability is often seen as weakness, but in reality, it's a kind of strength. So by allowing ourselves to be vulnerable, we open up the possibility of authentic connections with others. Because people might see you like, oh my God, this person, for whatever reason, they feel so vulnerable in your presence. They also might reciprocate because they feel comfortable enough to share with you in that space. So don't see you living a vulnerable life as weakness. No, it can be counted as strength, And vulnerability helps dismantle shame because it counters the need to hide our true self. Some, I don't know where this just, came into my head from, especially when we talk about the male gender. People are like, men are not meant to cry, Some men, they were like, I've never cried in front of my wife because I'm a man. It's a shameful thing if they hear a man crying. Says who? You're a human being. You've got flesh and blood running through your veins. If you feel the need to cry as a man, please find a comfortable place and cry if you must, because it alleviates a lot of emotions running riot in your body. Who says a man should not cry? Says who? I don't know where this kind of, those kind of thoughts, societal thoughts originates from. Or maybe it's a cultural thing, I don't know. Men are not supposed to cry. A man loses his parents and you're telling him not to cry. Or something tragic happens and the man wants to cry, but he's bottling it up because he doesn't want to feel shame, because people will see him crying. That means he's vulnerable. That means he's weak. I don't know. Shame in the context of our culture and society. See, I had to come here. Shame is not just a personal issue. It's also a societal one. Cultures that emphasizes like perfectionism, competition, or rigid social roles can perpetuate shame, because the society says you if you are this age, you have to have earned this, or you have to have attained this, or you have to have achieved this. Otherwise, you should feel ashamed of yourself. Oh, Mrs. Williams, you're welcome. God bless you. Thanks for joining. So don't let anybody make you feel that shame. No. Don't let anyone make you feel ashamed of who you are. Don't let the society dictate this is how. If you're not up to standard, you can't come to this caucus, or you can't belong to this social group, or you cannot belong to that one. You know, if you enter for any reason, the way they'll look at you, you feel ashamed, like you're not meant to be here. Says who? So we need to be careful. Even the society out there, let's be mindful how we make people feel shame for what is no fault of theirs. You can't come in here because of your skin color, or you can't come in here because you're not skinny enough, you're not that hourglass shape, hey, and things like that. You're not a size 6. It shouldn't be so. And sometimes you find out when you watch all these films, in especially secondary school children, you see them, cliques and looking for trouble or bullying some set of children because they don't dress in certain ways, or they don't look fancy enough, or they don't look posh, or things like that. We need to be careful. That's why I said it's 2 ways. If you're the one feeling the shame, look out for yourself. And if you're the perpetrator of that shame to somebody else, please stop it. Stop it, because you don't want someone to make you feel ashamed of who you are yourself. So it's not a good thing to do, or to do to others. And if you're the type that is in it to yourself, please stop. For the fact that somebody said something decades ago does not mean you should still be living that shameful words in your life. You are now a full-grown adult. Reject certain things, allow certain things. Anything that is, I don't want any negativity around me, to be honest with you. Any negative thing, I don't want it. Because life it has its own negativity enough already. So let's be mindful how we treat each other, and the society out there as well. We need to do better. We need to do better so that people can be confident in themselves. People can live their lives the way they are, whether short, thin, fat, or whatever. So it's important for societies to foster environments where diversity, authenticity, and self-acceptance are valued over conformity or unattainable standards. Maybe I should say quote and unquote. I am who God says I am. I am fair, I am black, I am blue, I am yellow. Does not change anything. Sometimes I wonder what goes on in our mind. Why you make somebody feel ashamed or shame for their color of skin color. But at the end of the day, if you cut that person, it's the same red blood that will come out from a yellow person as well. And this is, I say God is a beautiful God. Remember, the colors of the rainbow is beautiful. Red, green, yellow, blue, violet, indigo, whatever, the orange, and all of those colors. Just like we human beings are. If you were to go to every tribe of the world, every tribe and bring them and align them out, you will see that the skin tone is different to another. But if you cut it, it's the same red blood. If you cut deeper, it's the same white bone that you will see. So we need to be careful. I'm going to round up now so that we can talk more about this complex topic called shame. So in my conclusion, shame is a powerful and complex emotion, but it doesn't have to define us. It does not have to define us. Again, I say it does not have to define us. By understanding its origins, remember the ones I've talked about, at least some of it, recognizing its origins, recognizing its impact, and taking proactive steps to overcome it, we can reclaim our sense of self-worth and live more fulfilling lives. Say you're a young adult or a teenager, people start calling you names because maybe you have a scar on your face, they start calling you Scar. You will tell them, I am not. Do not. My name is FunmiRoyal, Funmi whatever. My name is this. Do not. You don't accept it. Right there and then you set them right. And then by the time you correct them the first time, second time, by the third time, they're looking for another thing. because it's not fair, it's not nice on anyone at that. Don't allow people call you names, and you don't call people names as well. So remember, you're not alone in your experience of shame, and you have the power to break free from its grip. That's why I say you have to do something about it. You can't just sit and wallow in shame all the days of your life. What kind of life would that be? So embrace vulnerability, like I said, practice self-compassion, and seek connection with others as you journey towards healing and self-acceptance. I'm going to draw the curtain there. And just one question that I have today is, why do people make others feel shame? Why? People have lost friends, even some, with relatives, just because all they make you feel is shame, shame, shame. Sometimes it's even maybe what your parents did, and then you're the child, you know nothing about it, but they won't stop going on about it. They just make you feel so ashamed of who you are. Like it was even your fault, whatever happened many, many years back. And that's how some people could be we have to, cut those kind of people out of our lives. Nana, thanks for joining. So guys, this is where I stop for today. But let's talk more about this shame. Let's shame. Let us shame today. Guys, let us do that. Thank you. Thank you for liking the live. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Bringing hope and make you feel alright.
Yes, we're here to make each other feel all right. Yeah.
Rainbow.
Thank you, manager. Thank you.
The future and life.
Please send an invite. Let's hear what your take is on this topic. Do you think it's a good thing? When others make other people feel shame for whatever it is they've done or their past or whatever it is. Do you think it's a good thing? I want to hear from us tonight. Let's hear from us tonight. It's not a good thing, especially, name callings and what have you. We shouldn't allow people. We shouldn't. It's not a good thing at all. Manager, you're welcome. White Angel, I see you. Yeah, thank you so much for liking the live. I want to hear from you today. The impact of shame on people. Oh, okay. Yeah. I hope our network is good tonight so we can, talk more about this. How we can alleviate shame, Don't always go by what people say all the time. Yeah, fine. It's good when people give you feedbacks and things like that. Of course, you pay attention to it, do the necessary adjustments or make necessary adjustments, and then live your life. Don't let anybody call you some names just because, that one Scar. They keep calling the person Scar for life. Except maybe you like the nickname. Yeah, no qualms about it. But if you're not okay with whatever, don't let anybody make you feel shame. Tell them right there and then. If it's a name they're calling you don't like, say to them you do not like being called by that name. Remind them of your name if need be, such that, that doesn't stigmatize you and stays with you. Remember the example I gave. Decades later, you bump into each other on the road and like, oh, Scar or something. Shorty, yeah, Shorty. And you're wondering, after all these years, that name stuck with this person. And the truth is, if you ask them, do you remember my real name? I bet they'll be like, they'll scratch their head because they can't remember. Because everybody started calling you that nickname. And that is not your real name. And over time, everybody went their separate ways and they've forgotten your real name. Now imagine bumping into you, maybe even in an office or somewhere, and they're still going by Shorty. And you'll be wondering, seriously, after all these years, don't let anybody make you feel shame at all. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. And again, you need to be kind to yourself. Like I said, be kind to yourself. Self-compassion. Forgive yourself. Even if it's something you've done that have made you feel that shame. At some point, like I said, you will have to get over it, live above it, so that you can still be okay emotionally and mentally. NJC, thanks for joining. Guys, send invite. Let's talk about this topic today, shame. And I'll be bringing my puzzle shortly. So why do people make others feel shame? Why? We talked about, growing up, maybe some environment are very toxic and they just make you feel shame all the time. Like anything you do, they just make you feel shame. Why should adults even make any child feel shame for whatever reason? And we all know children are growing up, they're bound to make mistakes here and there. And if you now stigmatize them with one mistake they've made, like there's nothing else they can do, you don't see anything good in them, that is going to affect that child growing up, their confidence, their self-esteem and all of those things. So if we're the type, because sometimes, like I said, some people do that to others because that's what they know, that's what they grew up in, and they don't know any different, or they haven't even thought about it. Like what they're doing is making somebody feel shame because it's what they know themselves. But you can be the one to free them, liberate them from such mentality, because it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. What you don't want, you don't dish out to other people. It's as simple as that. I see you, TJ. Setelem, I see you. Thanks for joining. Lord have mercy. Some of us is our bedtime. Okay, so maybe whilst I wait, glory to God, I see you. If you're just joining, thank you for joining Insight with FunmiRoyal today. Okay, so yeah, you can invite other people as well. Yeah, so we can talk about this topic called shame, especially when people make you feel shame because you don't look certain part, or you're not as tall as, or you're not as, or whatever reason at all. Why should you allow somebody to make you feel shame for who you are? Some people, for me, I'm a Christian, I'm a believer, and I'm not ashamed about it. Anywhere I go, I tell anyone that cares to listen. But maybe because I find myself in a group of people who don't believe there is God, there's no qualms about it. But don't make me feel ashamed because I say I believe in God. And I will not make you feel ashamed because you say you don't believe in God. It goes like that. James Lemott, thanks for joining. I see you. So let's talk about this. Why do you think people make others feel shame for whatever reason? Why do you think so? Because we have it in, young people as well, children. We have it in all ages. Anywhere in the world, anyone will make you feel shame if you let them. If you let them, And like I said, it's not a good thing to promote. It's not a positive way of living. I wouldn't want, to feel shame for whatever reason. So I'm not going to make somebody feel shame for whatever reason. So we don't do that to others if we don't want it to be done to us. And like I say, we all always need to kind of self-reflect such that we're not the one making other people feel shame. Because it's easy sometimes. You may not know. Maybe a group of friends you always meet and all that. Maybe one of you is maybe just the tallest, and every time you always remind them how tall they are, you even refer them, compare them to something, bamboo, or you start calling them names and things like that. Don't make people feel shame for who they are. It's not a good thing at all. It's not a good thing to do. So let's be mindful. Let's be mindful whether you're a colleague, you're a friend, mates or whatever, for whatever reason. And the sad one is sometimes even when you tell people, don't call me that name or don't refer to me as this, they're like, oh, I'm just joking with you. But unknown to you, other people around me have picked that name and then they start calling this person, and you can imagine that feeling for your friend. they won't feel confident. After a while, all they keep hearing is people calling them by that name. Meanwhile, they have their own original name. So we need to be careful. If you're teasing, maybe it's just when the two of you are there and that's the end of the tease, you know. Don't take it out to the public such that every other person around them start calling them by name, Scar or Shorty or whatever it is. Napoleon, thanks for joining. Odunami, I see you. So guys, please, I want to hear from us today. Thank you so much. I want to hear from us today. What is our take on this topic? I want to hear from us because it's something that everybody might have gone through, you know, and the way it would have happened would be different. Mine would have been different to yours. But I want us to talk more about this in the open. Shame. Don't let anybody make you feel shame or ashamed for who you are, for your kind of person. Because, I mean, you are your unique person. God has made you the way He made you. He doesn't make mistakes. Oh, Mrs. Williams, you are welcome. Good evening, ma'am. How are you today? I see Remy in the house. Send an invite in case I'm not seeing you there. Let's hear from you. What's your take is on this topic today? Shame. I said a lot about it. Remy, Mighty, you are welcome. How are you today?
Good evening,
Good evening.
FunmiRoyal.
Good
I'm
evening.
fine, and you?
Yeah, we bless God. Thank you so much for joining in today. Are you
Welcome.
just coming in, or you've been here for some time?
Yeah, I've been here for some time. I've been here
Okay.
twice, more than 4 times.
Oh
So,
wow. Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Nice to have you. You're welcome.
thank you.
So I don't know what your take is on this topic. You know, I've tried to break it down as much as possible, but it's always good to hear other people's perspective about it. Thank you. So what I don't know what your take is on this topic today. Let's hear from you. Oh, I see you, Elohim.
Sorry, I don't know what we're discussing today.
That's the topic. Can you see the topic on the screen? Is shame.
Okay.
Yeah. And what the only question that I have after my talk is, why do you think some people make others feel shame? You know, I was giving an example of maybe when you were in secondary school or primary school, maybe something happened, you now have a scar on your face, and everybody start calling you Scar. They make you feel ashamed, you know, and some people even forget your real name. That is one of so many. And sometimes it could be where somebody has grown, you know, they just anything you do is like they just keep saying, I'm ashamed of you, I'm ashamed of you, especially when you do wrong. And you know, children, they will make mistakes, but now stigmatizing them with that shame to the point that when they grow up, they just keep feeling shame, low self-esteem, and all of those things. Why is that? Why is that? Or maybe you have an experience you want to share with us as well. Joe, I see you, Superstore. Welcome. Kathy, you're welcome. So, Remy, I don't know, maybe you're still thinking about it. It's all good. Yeah, okay, then, no worries. So, whilst we're waiting, Mrs. Williams, I don't know if you can speak where you are, because I know you're a woman of wisdom. I really want to hear from you today if you can, but otherwise, thank you so much for joining. I still appreciate your presence. So my puzzle for today, manager, if you're there, you can just help type it. Whoever gets it right, you know, gets the gift today. Trump, welcome. Choma, I see you. So my puzzle for today is, why did the computer shut up or show up late for work? Actually, why did the computer show up late for work? There's a reason why. If you know the reason why, please let us hear you, and if you get it right, you get the gift for today. So why did the computer show up late for work? I wonder. How wise, I see you. Thanks for joining. And if you're just joining in, that's the topic there on the screen. We're talking about shame. You know, I've looked at different aspects of it, the societal beliefs to certain things, not knowing that people feel shame. Sometimes you go online, you watch all these videos, especially when you want to buy a piece of clothing items, and you see all the adverts there, or I'm not spoiling anybody's business, but I'm just saying everyone that is displaying the clothing items, they're like figure 8, size 8, perfect size, and all of that. And then here is the good old me thinking, my goodness, I love this dress, but I don't think it will fit me. You just feel ashamed of your body because of what they're portraying to you. If you're not a perfect figure, does that mean I should be ashamed of who I am or how my body is? This is how God has made me. And like I said, even once upon a time, I was as skinny. I was praying, let me add a bit of flesh. I can't imagine me right now going back to that skinny girl. People would just think, am I sick or something? So even over time, our body will go through certain transitions, certain changes, which are beyond us. And then somebody will now come and be calling you fatty, shorty, or skinny, or something like that. It's not, like I said, it's not right. It's not right for us to call people names because of what we think they look like or how we feel they are. Like I said, some people, maybe they just take time to do things, so they're a bit slow at doing things, and then you're like, come on, hurry up, and then you just call them slow or something like that, just because they're not soothing your own whatever it is. So we need to be mindful how we treat people, so that they're not feeling shame, or they're not feeling ashamed of who they are. We all cannot be the same. Even if we're twins, we are different, we are uniquely made, and we carry our own self. Yane, thanks for joining. I see you. Yeah, manager, you might have to retype that again. So guys, I'm not playing match here today. I don't play match, or well, not that I know of in any time soon. So I just want people to kind of contribute to the discussion at hand today. We're talking about shame, and we looked at origins of shame. Nabiyu, how are you?
Sure, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you today?
Sure, I'm right. How's it?
We bless God. Thank you for joining in. So I don't know if you have any take
Okay.
on the topic. You have any
Yeah, I'm
take on the
speaking up
topic?
now, busy, sorry. Just 1 minute wait, I'm busy now, sorry.
Okay. Okay, you can tap on the screen. I can read it out. If you're not too busy to type, I can. Yeah. Zentono, I see you. Thanks for joining. Manager, I think you can bring people up if they are there. Yeah, okay, I can see more people there. It's amazing, how people sometimes make you feel shame due to no reason of yours. And it's even more amazing when people feel shame all by themselves. They're the one feeling that shame for whatever reason. Thank you guys for joining. I can't see your name. Is it FN? FN, is it? With the flower, pink flower. How are you? I'm trying to read your name. How are you? Is your name FN? I can only see FN on the screen. FN, can you hear me? Kayla, thanks for joining. Okay. Okay, you're at work. Okay, you can type and I can read it out, but I might not be able to do much justice to it, but I'll try my best. We're talking about shame, and shame can come in various forms. People inflict shame on others. Some people make you just feel ashamed for maybe the way you look, the way you dress, or the way you are for no reason. It's not like it's bad, or because you're not dressing like them or you don't look like them, they make you feel shame and you don't want to mingle, or you withdraw yourself, or you hide yourself away. Charlene, I see you. Kayla, thanks for joining. I really want to hear us, guys. I don't know if Remy is ready, if you can speak now. But at least I know quite a handful in there. CJ, I hope you're going to come back because I love hearing your perspective of topics as well. It's quite insightful. But we need to know that, it's not a good thing. Like I've said, any negative assumptions of us that we're not comfortable with, we shouldn't just accept it. We need to challenge it. Why are you calling me names, or why are you referring me to something, or whatever it is? You need to challenge that so that you don't feel shame for no reason. Because I know some people, maybe because you hold them in high esteem, and whatever they say, carries weight in your life. And then when they say maybe some negative things, it becomes a bother to you, and you start feeling ashamed of it, or and start hiding away. You don't want to live your life hiding away or in isolation. So you have to be mindful. You yourself, you have to kind of self-reflect. Why are you feeling this shame because of what they've said? Even if it's true, if it's something you can change, of course, it's up to you. It's really up to you. And if it's something you cannot change, please don't beat yourself about it. Rosie, thanks for joining. I see you. Okay, she's dropped off actually. Yeah. Thank you guys for joining. I see you. But I'd love to hear from you, like I said. Nabil, I don't know if you want to speak now briefly, because I hear you, you're at work. Thank you so much for joining. I see you. Remy, any thought for us? Any word for us today? Don't forget the puzzle, guys.
Sorry, I'm coming now. Sorry, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Jojo, what do you say?
Yeah. As I asked the question, I said, why do people make others feel ashamed? Why do you think so?
Yeah, I'm coming. I'm talking for you. I'm busy. Wait 2 minutes. I'm coming.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. I see you're still gathering your thoughts. Ethiopic 2020, I see you. Thanks for joining. Let's see who is there. Yeah. So, like I said, guys, the puzzle for today is, why did the computer show up late for work? Why did the computer show up late for work? Manager, if it's so that you can help repost it. Let's see who's going to attempt that puzzle today. It's quite an interesting one. I'm just bringing it for the first time. So if you know the answer, please tell us the answer and you get the gift for today, like I said. So the topic, once again, if you're just joining, is shame. I've been talking about shame for the last hour and trying to break it down. Why do people make others feel shame? Why? Why do we think so? Is it maybe they have something they're trying to cover themselves, or they have something they're not dealing with for themselves, and they just, looking for a way of escape and making you feel shame, for whatever, just to kind of cover what they are feeling or deny what they are feeling. So they kind of project that onto you. So I want to know, why do you think other people make people feel shame? Why is that? And like I said, some people, it's probably the way of life they know. They don't know any better. They don't even know they're making others feel this way. And that's why you cannot shy away from talking about it. You have to let them know, because sometimes some people don't know this is how they've been wired, so to say, because they went through that growing up, and they just do that to other people without realizing it's a bad thing, So it could be a million and one reasons. Shegoye, thanks for joining. I see you. Guys, let's help tap to others, or share to others. Let them be part of this talk. They can tap and take the likes up. I really want to hear from us today. Otherwise, I want to believe that we're all okay, especially where this topic is concerned. Talking about shame, name callings and what have you. You're in the midst of friends, you like their company, but they make you feel ashamed. They don't make you feel you fit into that group, maybe because you're not posh enough, or you don't speak the way they speak, or you don't dress the way they dress, or whatever reason, you just feel ashamed to be part of the group, in as much as you like to be with that group. And after a while, the shame is just too much for you to bear, because every time you meet up with them, they always make you feel that shame. Then you need to reevaluate, is this the kind of friends you want to keep? Because if you're friends with people and they're not making you feel comfortable within yourself, it's not that, maybe, like I said, sometimes is maybe they're making you feel certain way, or is you by yourself feeling you don't fit in or you don't belong. You feel the shame for yourself. They're two different things. Like we said, we don't want to inflict shame on anyone, and we don't want anyone to inflict shame on us. But when you're the one inflicting shame on yourself because you feel you don't belong, or you feel you're not good enough, or you feel whatever thing you're feeling, you need to check yourself. You need to check that feeling, because it's not a positive feeling. And over time, if care is not taken, you start believing it. You start seeing that thing as, oh my God, and then you lose your self-esteem. You lose your self-confidence. What kind of a life are you living? Are you true to yourself then? If you're just ashamed about everything and everything concerning you. You have all friends, maybe you're the skinniest and you're feeling shame, like you're not big like they are. Why should you put yourself through that? Everybody is different. It's just where you found yourself. These people, you like them, you like their company, and they're all on the big side. Doesn't mean you have to go and start eating all sorts of burgers, drink ice cream or what have you to gain weight so you can belong, you can fit into that group. That is not a good way of life. So don't let anybody make you feel shame, and don't feel shame for who you are yourself, because you need to be careful. If people that surround you are not impacting your life in a positive way, you have every right to change your friends, the people you mingle with. Remy, you're welcome. You're welcome back. I don't know if you can speak now, but otherwise it's fine. We're just hanging out. Maybe I might have to bring some music out, or just do a bit of praise songs or something. Ready? I see you. So if anybody wants to attempt the puzzle, please feel free. You can type in the answer, or you can come up send an invite. I'll bring you up. Tell us the answer to my puzzle today. Why did the computer show up late for work? Why did the computer show up late for work? It's a funny one, but you have to know your computer to be able to answer this. So you're welcome. You're welcome. I see you, Larry and Mika. Thanks for joining. I hope you're good. So Remy, can you speak where you are now? Have you gathered your thoughts? What's your take on this topic? I spoke briefly about guilt. Guilt and shame, they are maybe brother and sister, let's put it that way, but they're not really the same thing outright. When you feel guilty, that means you've identified that you've done something wrong, and now you want to do right by whatever wrong you've done. You've realized it. This is a wrongdoing, and you want to make it right. Sometimes we might not even be able to make it right. All we might have to do is just apologize and move on. That is guilt. You've done something wrong, and trying to motivate yourself to do better or change your behavior. But when we're talking about shame, is the feeling that something is wrong with us, or something is wrong with this person, and you keep saying stuff because they don't look like you and I, or they look different, or they they behave differently to us. Because you don't understand it, you're making them feel shame for it. It shouldn't be. That shouldn't be, what we promote. We don't want to be that kind of a friend whose friend is ashamed to be with us because of what we said to them or how we make them feel. So we need to be mindful. So shame and guilt, they're not the same thing, but it's a feeling. Both of them are feelings that we feel, but from different events of life, if I can put it that way. So I mentioned sometimes when you feel too much shame, you can live in isolation. You don't want to mingle with other people because you feel maybe you're too short or you're too this, you're too that. You're so conscious of all these things that makes you you. Your height, you might not find your height. You know the way they say, how tall are you? Say 5'4", 5'5", 5'6", but yours is in between 4 and 5.5 or something like that. And then every time people ask you, you just feel ashamed to say that. Why? This is who you are. There's nothing you can do about it. Even if you wear the highest heels or what have you, it's still who you are. It's not going to change that. So you have to be comfortable within yourself. You have to be comfortable within yourself such that when people are kind of referring to you in a shameful way, you can correct them. You can correct that impression they have of you when you're not happy about it, instead of just accepting it like that. So no one should make anyone feel shame for whatever reason at all, especially when it's, flimsy things like your color, the way you speak, the way you dress, and things like that. That shouldn't determine, if I want to be friends with you or not. I say because you don't dress like me, so I can't be friends with you. Or you're ashamed of the way they're dressing or whatever. Okay, thank you much. Wemi Fluffy, how are you? Good evening. You're welcome to Insight. I hope you're good.
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. You're welcome. Yeah. Well, if you're just joining, like I've been talking about this topic, shame, I've looked at different angles to it. And just to kind of give it more flesh, I don't know what your take is on it. Has anybody ever made you feel ashamed of yourself for whatever reason? And maybe it's we that are feeling shame for ourselves because we feel we're not fine enough. We don't, speak the way other people speak or whatever that may be. Pikadu, thanks for joining. So, Wemi, I don't know if you have anything to add or to say. Let's hear from you today.
Um, about shame, I only had that when I was in secondary school though,
Oh,
because I used to have one of my roommates. She doesn't even like me smiling or laughing at all. She's always like abusing my teeth. But I would like, how do my teeth look like?
wow.
So it made me have more like say I became depressed on myself. Like I don't like associating with people. I stopped smiling. I stopped working with people. I became so calm that I only do everything on my own. I don't associate with people again due to because of how people are talking that how my roommates is talk like I look at you smiling, please cover your mouth. And in fact
Wow.
sometimes I used to cry like how do my teeth look like? Funny enough, my teeth is not bad, but and I smile too. So, but since then, it has really been making me so bad. But until when I grew up, I like anybody can say anything, anybody can do anything they get. So
Wow.
that's the only time I really like being ashamed of myself.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. It's as if I don't know whether you were here when I was giving that example of primary school days, secondary school days. Maybe I remember there was this boy in my secondary school back then. He kind of limps. Not that anything is wrong, but I think one leg is shorter or taller. One is not just balanced. So when he walks, and they started calling him by name, and then years later, he met somebody and they still called him by that name. I'm like, seriously, Thank you so much, Wemi, for sharing your experience. So you can imagine, like, when you're growing up as children, maybe because, lack of understanding and all of that, you might not be able to fight for yourself at that time. They make you feel shame. Imagine what Wemi said. She felt even depressed because of that. And children, they don't think twice about anything. They just behave in certain ways. But now she's grown, she knows to love herself, love her then teacher the way it is. And that's how our attitude should be, especially when it's something that is beyond your control. You know, some people, they go and put braces or whatever, and at the end of the day it still doesn't help. So what then would you do? Do you want to remove your whole teeth, and what do you want to do? So you just have to learn to love yourself for who you are. And if people like you for who you are, fine. If they don't, fine. But you will live your life. Don't live your life in isolation. Is one of the things that I said before, because sometimes they make you feel ashamed of the way you look or how you are, and then you kind of isolate yourself. You don't want to socialize with people. It's not a good feeling. So thank you so much again for sharing that experience. Sena, how are you today? I hope you can hear me. Senator Raleigh, I think. How are you today? I'm surprised. I thought people would have finished working by now. So I want to hear from you guys. You know, why do other people make you feel? And I bet Wemi.
Hello, I'm good.
Yeah, okay.
I'm good. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are live streaming from.
Oh, thank you so much.
My name is Senator Ali.
Senator Raleigh, I can see. Thank you for joining. I don't know what your take is on this topic today.
Wow. Yeah, like the last person that spoke,
Yeah.
I had the same experience when I was growing as a child.
Wow.
In my primary school. I was so dull.
Oh.
I was so dull, and I was almost taking all at the end of the term. I always take the last, or maybe be among the people. Maybe if you are 30 in the class of 40, I would take like my position would be like 32 out of 40. And my classmates, they used to make a jest of me, not only me, and even my mom, people around our vicinity where we are living. You know, when after the vacation, when we bring our report cards, they will just look hard. Some will give me a knock, some will slap me,
Oh my.
and I feel ashamed of myself. I feel ashamed of myself until my uncle came to took me to the town.
Okay.
And from there, he began to nurture me. He began to teach me both in the house. He brought one private teacher that always teach me the whole subject. From there, I started catching up. All those inferior anxiety that I usually have, I started having composure. I started catching up with so many subjects. After 1 year, I took 10 in my class out of 60 something. Out of 60 something. So the next class, I took 5th position. From there, I was able to conquer that. I so much thank my uncle. I'm happy. Had it been that my uncle lived me in the village, that he didn't bring me out from the village to the town, and the extramural lesson that he indulged me, and he equally teaches me whenever every day. He make it as a point of his duty every day. When he come back from work, he will teach me like 2 hours. He will give me assignments.
Oh, bless
So that is how it was a horrible experience during the time in the village. It was a horrible experience. But I so much thank my uncle who made it easier for me to conquer all those things.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Oh wow. I'm so, in fact, I'm just wowed with these experiences. So you can imagine, I mean, this platform, we don't know each other. We only come here to be part of this kind of talk. And you can hear from Wemi's experience. You can hear from Senator Torali as well, his experience. So you can imagine. And these are experiences, right from childhood days, which he remembers clearly. And I mean, it's one of the things that kind of stigmatizes and affects our mindset if we don't break off in time. God bless your uncle. Honestly, I can just say God bless him for seeing
Amen.
more in you.
Amen. Amen. He brought light into my life.
Yeah. So now imagine everybody shaming him, making him feel inadequate. That's why you see so God help us. You know what? As a counselor and as a teacher, I've noticed that, recently I was just thinking back when I went to a particular school and you see some children, they're slow to learn. But in Africa where I come from, they will beat. They will beat. It's only you. Your head is good. Your head is the. They will talk all sorts. They will talk you down. They make you feel ashamed, like there's something wrong with you. Not knowing that all you needed was extra tutorials, extra one-on-ones with you, and then you will top the class. I experienced that, I must say. Life happens, especially when you can see that uncle saw something in you that the other people could not see, because otherwise he would have just left you there and who knows what would have become of you today. So that's why I said, like, you have to either thank God for people like the uncle who was able to help you
Yeah.
out, you know and sometimes some children, that's how they are. They say, oh, you're last. Some will even repeat class. And then they'll flog them some more. They will make them feel so bad, like they're worth nothing. And sometimes they even pull them out of school. Come and go to the farm. That's all you're good for, since you don't want to learn. Not knowing that the pace at which this child is learning or wants to learn is different from the general class, because there's nobody who doesn't want to do better in life. Even a child wants to be something good, but it will take someone with patience, with understanding, with hindsight, foresight, to see that there is more. This child needs extra care, extra tutorials, to do better. And he was given the chance to see how things turned around. So we should not allow people to feel shame, maybe because we feel they're not looking up to our standard or the standard of the society. I remembered there was this guy back in school then. He was the guy everybody knows is brilliant, but the moment we do exam, he always fails, whether it's exam anxiety or I don't know what it is. So it's like we could not understand, because when we're in class, teachers asking questions, he really want answering everything. But when we do the exam, he will fail. And it was so sad that, I mean, so now imagine, would the school now organize that somebody will be calling out the questions and he will raise his hand to be answering and they'll be writing down, or how do they want to do it? So some students are like that. The moment exam comes, is that their brain just shuts down from anxiety or pressure or whatever it is, stress. And it's not like this child is not brilliant, but then people will start, they will look for a name. And trust me now with children, they will look for a name to start calling this person and making them feel bad even some more. And it's not supposed to be. So we need to be careful. The friends we have around us, do we make them feel shame? Do they make us feel shame? That's why I say sometimes you might have to change your environment, or you might have to change your set of friends, so that you can have this emotional balance, mental well-being. It's not nice. It's not nice. Imagine growing up as a child and you don't even have his kind of uncle to help you out. What becomes of you? God will help us. Thank you so much, Senna, for sharing that. I really, really appreciate that. And those people listening as well, if you're a young adult still in school and you're the one teasing, please stop it. Rather help that student that you think, they're not as bright as you. Help them out. Prayer City, thank you so much for joining. All right, okay. Thank you, Mary. All right, I see that. Prayer City, how are you today? You're welcome to Insight with FunmiRoyal. How are you?
Thank you. I'm fine. I'm good. I'm
Yeah,
good.
you're
Just
welcome.
having light headache, this way.
Oh, sorry about that. So sorry about that.
Thank you.
So I don't know if you have any little contribution to the topic at hand. Oh, thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
I'm just coming. I need to listen more.
Okay, all right.
I
That's
need
fine.
to know. I need to know the topic.
It's shame. Can you see it on the screen, guys? That's why I tried to leave it on the screen. The title is, the topic is shame. And Wemi has shared, her life experience. Even Sena has shared his as well. And I've talked about one or two as well. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. God bless you. So we're talking about shame, and when I bring this topic, I always try to break it down for us. We looked at the origin of shame. We looked at the impact of shame, on any individual. Sometimes you may think you've even overcome whatever it is that is making you feel shame, and then you go somewhere, something triggers it, you start feeling ashamed again, and you start isolating yourself. You don't want to be in relationship with people because of whatever it is. But you need to face it. You need to face it. You need to break it down, find out the reason why you're feeling this way. Is it what somebody said to you maybe ages ago that is still haunting you, that is making you feel this shame? Whatever it is, because that is not how we're meant to live our life. Even when we make mistakes, we'll learn from it, we'll move on from it. We don't want to stay in that mistake, because that means we're shutting down the rest of our lives. So I don't know what angle you want to talk about this particular topic, but that's the long and short of it, talking about shame. And I asked the question, why do some people make others feel shame? Why? Is it that their own insecurities, they're hiding from it? Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Prayer City. Thank you. Maybe some people, they don't know how to deal with their own shame, and the only way is to push it on somebody else so they can feel better. But that's no way to deal with it either. You cannot make somebody feel shame for the shame you're feeling. And they do it so well, and it's not a good thing. Thank you so much for the gift. Thank you guys for liking the live as well. So I don't know if any taker is on there. Let's see who else is there. Teddy, you're welcome. Teddy, how are you? I don't know if Freya City, you're ready to see one on you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Mrs. Williams, and I appreciate you, the host, Mrs. Williams. You are an angel. God bless you. Hi, Mrs. Williams. Mrs. William, I love you so much, you and your husband and the children.
William, that's for you from Prayer City.
I love you so much, Mrs. William. I can't stop loving you. Thunder, fire the devil. Fire the devil, Mrs. William. I love you so much. Wow, you are a woman of God. You are a woman of destiny. You are a beautiful daughter from Jesus Christ. Just well with you. So what I want to say on that regard is this. Shame comes in different capacity.
Yeah.
Shame comes from the reason why people are shameful is because of maybe their background. There are some people, because of their fake life they are living, they are ashamed of their father, the way their father is looking. No, they want the man or their mother to look too. These are people who raise you up. The whole beauty, or you are beautiful now, looking radiant. You should think about your own time, and their own time is not the same. And another thing again, we need to understand is this: is from the background where you are coming from. Okay. From the background where you are coming from, like from your circle, like from your village, from your genealogy. Like my father is a handsome man when he was growing up. So when I was growing up, when I look at him, I see some of attributes he has in me.
Okay.
Why should I look like my mother? So when I look at them, I say they have really transferred their beauty and handsomeness in me. So the next thing is this: if that my mother and father were still alive today, by the special grace of God, I will. They won't look smooth like me because they are old.
Of course.
Their skin. So I don't need to be ashamed of them because a time will come I will look like them too. No matter the exercise, no matter the healthy living, no matter what you are eating, you will definitely get old. So there are people, young men and young women, who don't want to introduce people to their families because they are ashamed. So sometimes some people lie that their family, their parents, they are this and that. They are because some will lie, all those lies just because they don't want people to know their
Parents.
that this is my mother. Maybe she's selling something in Agege market. She's selling something in Oshodi market. Because they are living a fake life in Lekki, or they are living a fake life in Banana Island. So they are acting as if they are from the high class. So they don't want to associate with their parents. They are looking at, even if they want to go to their parents, they won't go with their car. They will hire Uber so that nobody will know that they are the ones.
Yeah.
So they will not even tell their friends. So it depends. These are one part of shame. And there are people who are ashamed also because they are not married. There are people who are ashamed because they are not married. They look at themselves, they are not married. And I tell ladies, I say, hey, this is 21st century. Thank you so much for the gift. Yeah. I said, this is chocolates. Thank you so much. I said, this is 21st century. Even if you are 60, you still want to have babies, you will.
Yes,
because technology has really advanced. And all you need to do is to work hard. I know so many people will say, I want to raise my babies when I'm young and this and that. What if it did not come? Will you now start having babies for different men? No. So, but one thing we have to understand is this. There are ladies who are ashamed. I know a lady in Nigeria then, who anytime she's going to work, she will put a wedding ring in her hand.
Really?
She's not married though, but that respect, she wants that respect.
From people.
She wants people to respect her. She wants people to value her. She wants people to see her as someone who is responsible. Because I say that is one side of shame. You are ashamed that you don't want to tell people that you are married. And which is very, very dangerous. It's a red flag. So that you are not married.
That person's real husband can pass them by, thinking they are married.
Yes. So she doesn't want to open up to people. And another thing again, when you see guys live fake life, that the reason why some guys, some ladies are living fake life is because of their ashamed of their status.
Yeah.
The reason why people act as if they are rich while they are not is because of the fake lifestyle they are living. They are ashamed that how will it look like that my classmate is now in America like me. I have never been ashamed in my life of anything because I will always tell you I did not steal. If I don't have money, I will tell you, hey, my sister or my brother, life won't kill me here. I need an assistance. So that not tomorrow when I buy, you come and be saying, Chai is a handsome man of God. He's a wonderful man of God. Is this, is that. I'll come back from grave, give you hot slap, come on, keep your mouth shut. You did not even help me when I was. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Don't worry, Mrs. Willem. You are the best. You are the best. You are an angel. Mrs. Willem, you are an angel. I love you. And the family, I love you. I love everything about you. So that is one of the things you have to understand. So the reason why people are ashamed, some people are ashamed of many things, even because they did not go to school. They now think that it's good to go to school, though. But if life happened to you, that you are the one who has to drop out from school to help your parents train your brothers. Such is life. You can still go back to school. Yeah, even there are people who, somebody told me years back, he said, if you want to know how to speak good English, he said, always listen to news. You will, as the newscasters are casting their news, look at their tongue, look at the way they are presenting things. And when I was coming up, I followed that trend.
Wow.
Because as a once a mafian, so a stubborn chap, a king of the street boys in Nigeria back then, in northern Nigeria. I went to Islamic school when I was very small, trained as a jihadist, very stubborn. I can even plan something, you wouldn't even know that I'm the one that planned it those days. So I dropped out from school because of stubbornness. I was expelled out. So, but in all indication, when I accepted Jesus as my Lord and Savior, I said to myself, I know say the only thing why if we talk, madam, come check, madam, how far? Madam, we get fine things here, all those broken English.
Wow.
Madam, sure, waiting, you be a lot of now what for you, all those Nigerian stuff. I said, but when I had my calling, I said, Lord, you know, I was born and brought up in the north. I can't even speak good English to present the scriptures to the people of God. I can't even speak good Igbo because I was born in the midst of the Hausa people. So I flow more in the Hausa language and Pidgin English. I said, how can you call a man like me? So what happened is this: God start exposing me to men. I refuse to allow my state to shame me. I refuse to allow. Thank you, Mrs. Sulam. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I don't take this gift for granted. So I refuse to allow my state. Like today, I'm still learning. Even when sometimes I will be speaking, I will make mistakes. My wife will say, "Hey, wait, sweetheart." I will say, I beg, make una sorry. She's my English teacher. She read English in the university, Federal University of Lagos. She read. Wow. She read in the. So my wife here Yoruba, speaks Yoruba and everything. She's fluent in that area. So, well, she doesn't hear Hausa. So what am I trying to say? When I make mistake, anytime I make mistake, I am not ashamed. I am ready to learn. I am ready to adjust. I am ready to tell people that, hey, my wife is my English teacher. She read English. Oh, that is one of the gifts that God gave to me. Oh, that's why I don't play with her. Thank God for everything, the ups and downs. But I really thank you. I refuse to, even till now, I'm still learning. I tell people my wife is my English teacher. My wife is my English teacher. She's the one who is teaching me things. She is the one who is teaching me good things, even in life and all that things, because there is a saying in my place. Yeah. A traveler is wiser than an old man in the 21st century. Yeah. That you are an old man, you can only stay with the experience of your village. Maybe you grow up in the village. You can only stay there with your knowledge, with the level of your information. But as a traveler, you are seeing a lot of things. You are seeing a lot of information. You are going into things, watching things online and reading online. So you advance in knowledge than that of the old man. But there is a level where they play out, their own level of knowledge plays out. An elderly man with a gray hair. So there is a place whereby their knowledge plays out in the life of a young chap. So we don't need to be ashamed.
Yeah.
So the reason why people are ashamed are these things, or you came from a poor family, now you come across people who are advantaged in life, people who are from rich family. Yeah, you're trying to belong. You don't want to tell them that all those things I've said, both guys, both ladies, everybody do all this forming, but it doesn't help, because by and by, then we always know who you are. Because sometimes these days, because of technology, people can investigate people through phone.
Oh, yes.
People can investigate people through phone. So these are the things I have to say now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. In fact, it took us to another tangent altogether. Thank you so much, Prayer City, for that contribution. And you can see it's part of one of the things I mentioned. You have to be deliberate to come out of this shame, especially maybe it's circumstances beyond your control that is bringing it on, or maybe the people you associate with, they will never let you forget. They'll remind you of how black or how short or how this or how that. But you can see from what he learns, the fact that you don't go to school does not mean that should be the end of your study. The way of other people, some people, they've not stepped into the premise of a school, but when they speak, when they act and behave, you'll be amazed. Everything is on there online. If you want to learn anything, just go on YouTube now. In fact, it's even better now compared to when I was growing up. There's nothing so-called social media, YouTube, what? No. Remember the days, Prayer City, remember the days of cassette player, CDs and...
all those days, yeah.
So imagine.
Those cassette players, those cassette player, like those audio, these are ancient now. We are talking about the days we used turntable, those stereo that plays around, all those ancient stuff.
In fact,
so now information is out there for people to learn online, for people to study online, even in the comfort of your home. You can study and get all information and go sit for exam even from the comfort of your home.
Yeah. So life is being made easy. So we can't afford to just live in that shame. Oh, because you were not privileged to having this when you were growing. Look, I've seen an 80-something-year-old going back to university. So how much more we that are still young? What is our excuse? So don't let anybody make you feel ashamed because you have not gone to school, or make you feel ashamed because you're not speaking the way they're speaking, or you're not dressing the way they're dressing, or what have you. There's who was saying it maybe a few weeks back, oh, I love your makeup. I'm like, one day like that, just like, I mean, press YouTube, how to make up for beginners. By the time I brought the palette, everything, okay, you put the pink hair, put the black hair, put this. The first time I was upset, I know I didn't get it right. I started trying and trying until it just became part. I don't even think about it anymore. At least I'm okay with the makeup I've learned from there. Some people even pay to go and learn these things, you know, instead of feeling, when you enter the room, they say, look at this makeup. What is going on here? There's so many avenues. We can always do better. Don't let people stigmatize you. Don't let people make you feel shame because you're not up to standard or their standard. There's always room to learn. There's always room to turn things around for our good. I am who God says I am. I am a winner, not a loser. So if I feel whatever it is I'm doing, people are, look at this person, loser. There are avenues to change that scenario for yourself, for myself. So, but it has to be deliberate. Don't live in shame because I didn't go to school. That's the end of me. You don't want to be in the midst of people talking. You don't want to. No. There's so many avenues to learn to better our lives. So thank you so much, Power City, for that. I'm going to come to, let's see, Queen Ella. I'm not sure I've heard from you. How are you today? Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. How you doing?
Mrs. Williams, thank you so much for all the gifts. God bless you, ma'am. Oh, Wemi, flat battery. Please, sweet dreams family wish to stay tuned. Okay, thank you so much, Wemi. Thank you. Not a flat battery, but okay. So, Queen Ella, I want to hear from you today. What's your perspective? And one question that I asked today, aside all the talk, is why do people make others feel shame? Why? So you can start with that, or whatever it is you want to bring on board. We're listening. We're ready to hear. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I think the first reason why people shame other people is because they have low self-esteem.
Oh, thank you. Let me clap for that. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, because if you're really confident of who you are, you'll be sure that someone else, like for example, body shaming, people didn't create themselves,
Oh,
or the way people speak or the way people dress. Those things are things that people, they met life that way. And there's room for adjustment though, but you mustn't shame people before you teach people. You understand? You can teach people things without shaming them. Like when I was growing up, I looked like my dad physically. So I had this little tomboy kind of stuff in me. So when I got to the university, many guys, they were like, "Ah, you always behave like a boy, blah, blah, blah." So that thing got to my brain. I think subconsciously it affected my mental health, but I didn't know. It was when I was done with university, I started having relationships, and it got done on me that I lost my confidence, that I felt like I wasn't woman enough, if you understand what I mean. I
yeah.
wasn't woman enough to have a relationship. So I felt like, okay, I'm less of a woman, probably more of a guy. I think at this point was when I understood what so many people that switch from one gender to the other are going through. You understand? So when that thing kept going on and on, so I got into a relationship. I think that relationship I got into was an eye opener, because when I got hot, I was actually betrayed because I invested everything emotionally, everything just to make sure that I was making it work. So God allowed God allowed me to be betrayed,
Wow.
and it brought me back to my reset mood.
Wow.
Yeah. So at that point, I didn't know who to turn to because I was deeply hurt, and there was no closure. I didn't have any closure of any kind because I don't really have so much friends. So most of my friends are guys, and most of the females I have are not people that will give you that closure you are seeking.
Yeah.
So I didn't have any other person to turn to but the Holy Spirit.
Wow.
Because of that relationship, I lost my commitment to the Holy Spirit. It was at that point I was like, oh my God, I have really gone far. I had to retrace my step back, and through listening to motivational messages,
See?
listening to um inspirational messages too, somebody like Bob Proctor, I read his book, and I think that book went a long way in my head. Change your paradigm. So after reading that book, I was like, wow, why will I allow somebody else design my life? What they think about me, design what I am. So I began to change the way I saw myself, because before now I hated my body. I was like, oh, I don't have a big behind like other girls. I don't have this like other girls. So I just hated my body for no reason. But after going through those stuff, listening to podcasts of
I
um, great men of God, so we have some men of God in Nigeria that speaks to people's self-esteem and confidence. So after listening, or it's not an overnight journey. So it's just something that you have to be intentional about.
Yes.
So I began to build my self-confidence, and I began to understand that I did not create myself, I came out this way because God wanted me to look that way, and I'm his image. So I don't owe anybody any explanation for not seeing the beauty in me.
Oh.
And it's not my problem that they are not seeing the beauty that God has put inside me. And I began to own that name, Queen. Do you understand me? I began to call myself a queen.
Own you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I began to call myself a queen, and I just nicknamed myself that. And from that point, I began to carry that name with so much confidence that I am a queen in my own territory.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So I think that was how I was able to heal from being someone that hates her body so much, with low self esteem, low self-confidence, very desperate for love and relationship, into somebody that is confident and knows what she really wants in her relationship. So that was how I was able to cross over.
Oh, thank
That's
you.
my little story.
Thank you. So that means, look, we can't afford to be living a life of shame. We can do something about it, whether it's been inflicted on us, whether we're the ones that have afflicted ourselves, or I don't know which English now to use for it. We can always turn things around. Queen Ella, thank you so much for sharing that, because it's very profound. I mean, these are people's real life story. This is their real life story. And for every one of you that have shared your story, you told us what you had to do intentionally, to change that situation, to change that scenario. It's very good and it's very important. Because if you're waiting for others to come and change you to make you feel good, you will wait till forever. You have to take the horn by the bull yourself and be determined that, look, I may be masculine in shape, I may be this and that, but I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am created in God's image. I am beautiful. Sometimes you have to say some words of affirmation to yourself so that you will drown those voices or you chase them out. Because sometimes when you listen to those negative all the time, if care is not taken, you start believing it, and then you start telling, oh, I'm so ugly, I'm so man-like, I'm so this and this, I'm so, says who? Who says who, really? So it's one thing for people saying it, it's for you now believing it and be feeling shame. You don't want to go out. In fact, they dare not see you wear a dress because people will laugh at you or this and that. No, you even compound it some more. Please take it easy on yourself. Self-compassion was one of the things I mentioned. Self-compassion, treat yourself right and walk tall, whether you are short, whether you are fat, you're thin or whatever. Own yourself and be your unique self. There is no other like you, so don't fake to be somebody else. Be yourself. It's very, very important because of our mental well-being, our emotional well-being. Is as you present yourself that sometimes people will present you or will relate with you. So how are you presenting yourself? Is it a shameful person you're presenting to the world? And what are they saying back to you? So we need to be mindful of that. So thank you once again, Queen Ella, for sharing. Mrs. Williams, I see your hand, though. I want to believe you want to say something before I go to...
Yes. Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much for giving us this platform to be able to learn. God bless you, man of God. Man of God, oh my God, thank you so much for yesterday. God bless you, sir. May the Lord continue to bless and honor you in Jesus' name. May you finish well, and may we all finish well in Jesus' name. The Lord will continue to honor you, sir. More grace. Thank you. Also, Queen Ella, wow, that means you missed yesterday class. Oh, when she was talking. What do you think, FunmiRoyal, yesterday?
Yes, it was amazing. Being
I
your
think you,
authentic
in
self.
fact,
Be yourself Unapologetically. How did it go?
Unapologetically. That
Yes.
was our
So
last. That
amazing.
was my topic yesterday. Be
Yes,
yourself.
ma. I missed it, ma.
Oh my, that part two. People requested for the part two. Don't miss it next Sunday.
Yes, ma.
Oh, let me tell you something. And also, Tima, thank you for joining. Onoye, our own one and only manager. God bless you. Jenny G. And
My
so
sis.
everyone in the building. I don't know. I was just doing the gift because I'm driving and I'm still. I just want to get home so that I can contribute on. I want to get home to contribute on time. Okay. Yes. When it comes to shame, that's like I said yesterday that if you don't love yourself, there is nothing because you can't give what you don't have. So you can't love others. And when it comes to this case of shame, it's so funny that like what Queen Ella said and just mentioned about the shape. And then, and I mentioned it as well yesterday that if you are not careful, you begin to accept what the world called you. And that is not who you are.
No.
You are more than what people are saying because you are excellent, you are extraordinary, you are beautiful, you are gorgeous, you are formed, and you are God's image. There is no one that can be like you. You are you. You are who you are. You don't, in fact, so when you know who you are, how will you be ashamed of yourself? Because what other people are telling you about yourself is just a compliment. They just compliment you because you know it. And I want you to do something, Quinella. When you look at the mirror, and ladies, even not only ladies, they talk some men down. Oh, have you seen your hair? The way your hair is. By the time you are 40, you will not have anything in the front of your hair. Excuse me. And some people will think, oh, I am very bold, I can talk. And you will talk, you will deposit some words in some people's life that they will never forget how you destroy, how you kill them with your word of your mouth. You will not know. And that's, being yourself means living life you wanted to live, regardless of other people's opinion. Once you know that I am beautiful, I remember sometimes ago, one of my girls, oh my God, she loves food, and she loves cooking. She will come and meet me, Mom, am I fat? Mom, am I fat? Am I fat? One day I say, yeah, you are fat. And here in UK, that language is not that good. They don't tolerate it. Because then I said, why did you keep coming to me? You know you love food, you cook a lot, you like. So then when you finish eating, go for a walk. Stop coming to me. She said, I know you are the only one that can tell me. I said, outside they can't say that because that is wrong, it's rude. So then immediately I said that I call her back. I said, no, I'm just joking. That you are not. Stop asking. I said, because you see what I just said now, that is what the world will tell you. When you keep asking and pushing them, they will say, oh, you are this. Then you begin to look into that way, that is who you are. Never allow anyone to body shame you or but even in your workplace, you are good for nothing's sake. And you begin to see that I am good for nothing. Especially when it comes to our body. Hey.
Yeah.
And I want to tell, I always mention this as well. Do you think men, when it comes to marriage, do you think they're looking for another, in my language, they call it bukata, another responsibility that every 5 years they have to go for check-up for bum and the front? Every 5 years. They have to go and check up the front. Every 5 years, they have to go and check up the bum. Meanwhile, God has given you for free, and you are beautifully made. Some people are so ashamed they cannot wear uh, any clothes that they were like, oh, my tummy is showing, my bum bum is flat, my this is that.
It's always
Oh,
boo boo.
my makeup. Sorry,
It's always boo boo. They will wear boo boo to
they wear
cover.
boo. Meanwhile, it's a lie. And I've been a victim of that also before. Because I don't like anything to be too. I don't like my clothes to be too tight. So, as sister, if I say mention this stuff, you just be like, I always order size 18. Okay, stop. What do you think my size is when you see me
When
physical
you
one?
want to wear it, no, please.
And they will be so big because I don't want any. I want it to be big and free. I want something that will be free. And but why? Because we're thinking our tummy. One day I told myself, excuse me, after four kids, how did I want my tummy to be?
I wonder, wahala.
No, we should not allow anyone to body shame us. So I wear my clothes once I love it. I do what I love. And some people are so ashamed of even the children they give birth to. They tell them, I'm so ashamed of you. We are a disgrace. And we parents, disgraced. I'm so ashamed. I regret giving birth to you as a mother. Then, how do you want that child to behave out there? How do you want that child to embrace the world? You have already taught your child from home that you regret being a mother. You have already made her to feel ashamed of herself. You've already talked her down. We need to be careful as well as parents. And also, when you look into mirror every day, prophesy good things to your life. Say something nice. Oh, I am wonderfully and beautiful. I'm the most beautiful woman on earth. I don't care how other people look like. I am the most beautiful woman. That is when other people now say, oh, Mrs. William, you are so beautiful. I'll say thank you, I'll smile. Why? I believe that even though we have so many beautiful, gorgeous, that, oh my God, they don't need to wear makeup. They are gorgeous. But in my brain, I have inserted that like a memory card in my brain. And in my work, in my organization, wherever I work, I believe I'm the smartest person. Because your colleague can make you feel like nobody. Oh, can you pass me that, please? Oh gosh, I know you're gonna make the mistake again. Anyways, I'm used to that. That's who you are. You need to say, excuse me, what did you just say?
That's why I say you need to challenge
You
certain
need to
thoughts.
challenge it immediately.
Oh, don't accept.
Not rudely. You can talk to someone that person after thinking that, oh my God, I should have said that to that lady the first time. Anyways. Because you can insult someone in a polite way that the person next time, before they body shame or talk less or talk down on you, they will think twice. Immediately say, excuse me, or pardon me, or sorry, what did you just say? Oh, I said this, I said that. I'm so sorry. I don't take that as a joke.
Oh.
Thank you. Then you continue walking. You smile because I'm sorry. No, we have them on this. So the way they will say it, they will laugh. They'll be, they are the way they smile here.
Yeah.
No, you too. When you are correcting them, you smile back. Yeah, you have to give it back in a lovely way without being rude. Oh, look at you. See the way you are typing like a tortoise. Oh, sorry, I don't like that, darling. If you don't mind, then you smile. Then you continue typing. Because next time you begin to think, look at the way I can't type fast. Anyways, everyone believe I'm so slow. Then mentally, it's going to be affecting me. Everybody thinks I'm too short. I will never have anyone to marry me. I'm too The problem I even have that I don't even know who is going to help me. We black, that we're a little bit fair. We're calling people that are dark black.
I wonder.
That is confused.com. We are all black. And they're saying, oh, because they are too black, they cannot, no men will color. Who says so? Black and beauty. You are black and beautiful. You don't even need to buy
Bonnie
cream.
Black.
Ebony. Give yourself names. You can call yourself black and beauty, ebony, black chocolate. Give something that they will be like, why did you put it? Because I know I'm beautiful.
Yeah.
Some cannot even go for meet like office outreach. Let's say they were going out for lunch or dinner. You can't go with them because you believe everyone is talking about your shoe. Everybody is talking about your body. Everybody is saying you married with kids. How do you want your breast to look like? You don't need to stress yourself. Go to the job, look for something that will pack it up. That's fine.
Weird.
And some ladies, please. Oh, FunmiRoyal, I like your top. Oh, it's just £2. I didn't ask you how much you got it. Talk down on yourself. I just say that I like your top because immediately you say, oh, and let's say 5 people are there, and you say, oh, it's £2. The day you are going to wear £50, they believe you are picking it for £2 again. And we're not asking you, oh my gosh, I love your hair. Oh, it's Alibaba, it's £10. Buy one, get 3 free. Nobody's asking you. Oh, you like my hair? Oh, thank you very much. It's one of my favorite hair. One of mine.
We do that a lot.
Meanwhile, you've got just 2. That is not fake life. You've got just only 2. It's one of my favorite hair. That's because you've got 2. Even if it's 1, oh my gosh, I love this hair so much. You didn't say, oh, it's £1. It's Sister Shola that gave it to me. I didn't ask you where your hair is coming from. The next thing, that 5 people will now help you to broadcast your life. Oh, did you see Sister Fumi, the hair? Oh my gosh, it's the hair that this Jenny has been wearing. She sent it to her. That is what she's been wearing to work. Now, when you hear it from 2 or 3 people, you begin to feel ashamed of yourself. In the first place, they did not ask you. You are the one. Because even the Bible says that those that keep their mouth keep their life. Sometimes we sell our ourselves out there, and we can never buy ourselves. When you sell yourself at a cheap price, it's hard to put another price on yourself. But when we look at when we was discussing yesterday, I said, put a great value on yourself. Women, walk with pride. Not that you are rude or arrogant. No, be grateful. Believe in yourself. Do not be ashamed of yourself. If you man of God was saying something earlier about English speaking. When people are laughing about some people that they're speaking, I'm like, excuse me, we're African. It's a lingua franca. It's not our language. We borrowed it. So nothing wrong in speaking our language. That's our mother's land. So when you speak in your community or maybe among your colleagues and they try to that your English, excuse me. I have one grandma that may have so rest in peace. That woman, when she speaks English in my church like this, she doesn't even care. She will continue. When she's giving her testimony, she'll make sure she finish. If you laugh, people will be laughing, rolling on this one. She continue giving her testimony. The most important thing is for you to understand what God has done in her life. She doesn't care about the English. So sometimes you say something, when they correct you, try to say, oh, thank you. Oh, thank you, by the way. You don't just pull yourself down and say, is that English? And then they started, no, put yourself. I love the way man of God said that, oh, that's my wife. She's my English teacher. So he has already nailed you nail you guys somewhere. I beg, I don't get your time. So what am I saying is that let's put a good value upon ourselves. Don't let us be, because this shame of things that we're talking about, it started from us. If we are ashamed of ourselves now, no matter how people adore and appreciate us, love us, we will still be ashamed because we think they were not loving us because of, then we should not allow what people call us to be who we are. We are not what they are calling us. We are not. Hey babes, oh my gosh, I love your trouser, even though there is nothing under it. Immediately tell the person. I don't tolerate that kind of joke, you know. Yeah. Let's do it. And as a Christian, he has taken away our shame.
Oh yes.
What next? What else? God has taken away all our sorrow, our shame, things that God. You will see some husband when they talk down on their wife, you'll be thinking, is this the man I'm married to? And that is why I always use this slang on my platform. It takes a useless man to marry a useless woman. And it takes a useless woman to call her husband a useless man. That means you both are useless. So that's my beautiful wife. Oh my gosh, my husband is the most handsome man in the world. Even if the word is saying is the most ugly man, in your heart, you know your husband is the most good things that has ever happened to you. Adore him.
That is my backup account. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. Thank you,
Adore
sir.
your husband. Adore him. Appreciate your children.
Oh, wow.
Do not allow people to. There was a lady. She told me she wanted to do makeup. And why did you want to learn makeup at this age? She said, "Oh, anytime I make up, my husband will tell me, have you looked at yourself before you step out? You look like gorilla. You look like this. You look like that." I said, "She's lying." I said, "I'm sorry to tell you, your husband is lying. That is not how you look. You look beautiful."
Aww.
Then, in order to encourage her, I tell her about a lady that does makeup. And she learned about doing makeup. And the day she finished her program, I said, "What do you want to do?" She said, "I'm going to do my makeup." When he says something, I'll say, "Oh, thank you." I said, instead of you saying thank you, tell her that, "Oh, I love the way I am looking." Because he said, "I don't want makeup." I said, "Okay, all this side chic that you said the man is carrying, are they not wearing makeup?" And men, when you see something that women are wearing out there, rather than to be telling your people, "I'm so ashamed of my wife. She cannot even dress properly. She's 40, she's looking like 75 years old." You are telling your friend, "Don't worry. The day they're going to help you to embarrass your wife, you too, your leg will be drawing on the floor because you'll be so ashamed of yourself." And all that are likewise women. So let us embrace what we have. Let us appreciate ourselves. Let us believe so in ourselves. And we should also listen to correction. And whenever we make a mistake, let's learn from it and move forward. Do not let us dwell into it and become ashamed of ourselves. Because sometimes we make mistake. We make mistake, and people want to use our mistake to call us. Do you know that lady that her wig fell off while she was worshiping? Now, do you know that lady that her mom fell when she was walking? They want to now to give you that name. That is not your name. No, do not accept it. That is not you. Oh, do you know that lady that did jam? Or maybe people in Africa, the one that did a jam 10 times. Oh, the one that did the driving lesson 15 times before you pass, because you are the one telling them about your jam, about everything. So that is my little people. I hope I make a little bit sense. So thank you. I love you all, and have a lovely evening. Thank you, man of God.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's what I say. I always love to hear from you because you even take us way deeper into the topic. Thank you so much, ma'am. God bless you. God bless you for that insight. I mean, what more can I say? She went to the east, to the west, to the north, to the south. She brought it down low, took it high up. Thank you so much. God bless you for that. You know, one of the things she said.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Willem. Thank you so much, Mr. and Mrs. Willem. Make I call on the way where you do. Thank you so much for this wonderful submission. Believe me honestly, people, nobody should body shame you, even from the last host to before she started speaking. Nobody should put you down. Nobody should make you feel you are not acceptable. Nobody. I tell people, I said, the only thing you can tell me that I was boasting the other day, and I was boasting in the Lord. I said the only thing the only fault I know I have now is anger. I get angry a little bit. So, but God is helping me. I'm working towards it seriously, and my wife is really helping me on that area. I'm not ashamed to say it, and because she always lay hand and pray for me.
God bless
Sometimes,
her.
yes, she will always lay hand and pray for me, and I will allow her praying for me. So another thing again is this. I told them, I said, no woman, both Nigeria, here, can say Apostle is doing this, is doing that. I said, no. I said, no. Sometimes there are women that will call me in odd hour, like sometimes here in America, they will call me in our central time. Somebody will be calling you by 9. So, which sometime after 9, a day came, I took the phone, I answered it. I gave my wife the phone, answered the phone. Do you know, immediately my wife answered that phone,
You will drop.
that lady stopped calling me till today.
That's it. That's
So
it.
and a lot of people have come to understand. I'm not my wife is a beautiful woman. She's a master degree holder in academics. She's read so wide and wow. And she's a beautiful. So I'm not ashamed of her. I love her so much.
Man of God, please let me chip this thing in. I don't
Go
know
ahead.
because I've finished talking, but something I don't know, maybe Holy Spirit want me to share it.
Yes.
And God sees my heart. I'm not saying this because I don't know, maybe the family member of this lady, they're online hearing, or maybe FYP. There was a lady here in UK. I don't know if you heard about that story. She wanted to celebrate her 40th birthday. But because of, I want to be like looking this and that, people has bought Ankara, everything. Then she went to do this. She went to Turkey to go and do this thing. And it's the same Ankara they used to bury her.
Oh my God.
Because she couldn't come back alive.
Oh my goodness.
I'm like, well, we don't know what people has been saying. Oh, your tummy needs to go down. Before that day, your bum needs to come out. This and that. Yeah. The same. And in fact, it happens here. It's the same clothes that they said people wore, because he has rented, a big 40th birthday party here.
Lord have mercy.
And because she wants to look, she wants to, I'm not there. God, really, so is what. And so, but when I heard about that story that time, when she died, the story, went viral in UK, like, in our Black community, especially Nigerian community, because she's from Nigeria. I'm like, that day I was thinking, why would she, maybe she should have not even done it. We should have done her birthday. What will people be telling her that will make her to, I was thinking for her. We are okay the way we are. I think if you have your money, if you want to go, but me, if I'm a man, I won't, no, because I will not be paying every year to go and be renewing what is not renewable.
No. That's even compounding one's life.
You see, I want to say this, sorry to say this.
I'm still coming to you. Onoye, I'm coming to you. I've meet my goal for today, so we can stay a little bit longer. So thank you, everyone. I really, really appreciate it. And I believe people are learning as well. My goodness.
Yes, I want to say this, to add to what Mrs. William have said. People, I wanted to say that, but I want it to come from her. Like people go to do body enhancement,
Yes.
to reduce their body fat, to reduce this, reduce that. There are, if you want to celebrate your birthday and you want to look good, you want to do it in a big way, maybe a major like you are clocking 50, you are clocking 60, you are clocking maybe 40. You want to do the birthday too, you should what we call process. In a process of 3 months to the or 2 months to the actual date of the birthday, you should do what? You should work on your eating habit. You should work on you should go back to gym, exercise more.
If only.
But it's not something you go do. I know that, yes, it's not easy. Because sometimes there are a kind of surgery you will under knife you will pass through. You will keep it up with exercise, or else the fatness will come back. Because the thing was not done by natural way.
Yeah.
So when you did not keep it up, you want to enhance everything. You want to, despite me, I love thick women. If you are a slim woman, I no go marry you, I go cheat. This is me. I told my wife, I say, I can't marry woman that is slim. I no go fit. Women that are, I will be with her on the bed. I'll be asking, Madam, where are you? Did you fall under the bed? Please, where are you? Did you fall under the bed? So I won't put up. That is the reason why I tell people. I said, even in the area of marriage, marry a man, marry a woman that you can hold hand and walk on the street. This
You are
is
not ashamed of, yes.
you are not ashamed of. I can sometimes when I hold because me and Mama, we are working in the same hospital here in America, Memorial Hermann. So sometimes when I hold her and be kissing her, I say, sweetheart, leave me. People are looking at us because she's the shy type. I say, make them look now. You are my wife, so make them look. So if they like what they are seeing, they should go and marry. So the next thing we will laugh and go. And I'm doing it. The reason why I'm putting it out there is in case I call them desert encroachment. Those who will encroach, those who want to keep their own paycheck to come fixed in your own paycheck. So for them to know, hey, I love my wife, and I'm not playing with it. And I have already put out that information, even where I'm working. People know that I love my wife. And people have also known that I'm a pastor. It's not you hiding your identity, who you are. You are not. These are the things we are talking about.
Yeah. You'll be ashamed to say you're a pastor.
I will be ashamed to say I'm a pastor, so that people like God punish the devil 100 times.
Amen. Times 10.
God punish the devil 100 times. So the next thing I will be ashamed to tell people I'm a pastor. I say, hey, I will even some of them will say, really, let me see your podcast. I will open my Facebook, open my TikTok. When people see the kind of, some of them, when they see the kind of people that are following me on TikTok, they say, wow. They say, wow, now we know. I say, not because it's, what do you do? I say, I preach, I pray, I teach relationship, and I cast out devils. So that is one thing. You are not ashamed to declare who you are. So the only way to start healing, not because you love a lady, you loved her money, or you love the man's money. You didn't like the man. You didn't love the lady. You didn't like the man. So the next thing you fall into, then tomorrow. So some of those things are, you can't walk with the man on the street. You can't walk with the woman on the street. So all those things are something we need to look into. Because my father told me, he said, when my father was alive, there is something he told me. He said, remember, in America, people used to hold hand. Women in America used to hold their husband hand and be walking on the street. I say, Papa, it's just that you don't know that your son is a lover boy. So when he was alive, so there is no shame. The only way is that be contented.
Yeah.
Be contented with what you have. Are you a lady? Don't allow anybody to body shame you. Hey, you have a small bump. You have a small boob. You have a small this. Look at this. Look at that one. Nah, sister. What are you? Are you sure you are eating? Some ladies will ask other ladies, "Are you sure you are eating?"
Can you imagine? I know.
All you are eating, I'm not seeing it in your body. So the lady will be looking for a way to add more fat in her body. So that is one of the danger that is happening in this Gen Z generation. Everybody wants artificial. And artificial is killing a lot of people.
Yes.
Artificial packaging and all the rest of them. The reason why you see all those things, people are not contented with what they have. Me, I'm contented though. I tell people I'm contented. I am not looking for extra, even as a man. But in the area of, I'm not talking about in the area of chasing your vision. I'm not talking about in the area of chasing purpose. Nobody get contented even going out looking for money. Like Mrs. William, by the grace of God, went to work today. Tomorrow she's going back again. Even the level God has blessed her. She still have her own business. She still have other things she's doing. She's still looking for one way or the other to expand her businesses, expand the business to all level, have the business in different states, in different country. If God give her such expansion, she will go that way. So the next thing you have to understand is this. I tell people, I say, everybody, look at Obasanjo. He wanted to go for third term after the second term. So everybody wants expansion. So it's not in that area. So go after purpose, go after money making in a good way. So those ones is not what we are talking about now. But you being contented in what God has given to you, the parents God has given to you. Don't be ashamed that these people are your father, these people are your mother, these people are your sisters, these people are your siblings, these people are your friends. Now you're not jumping higher than Kilimanjaro. It will make you overstretch yourself, overstretch you before you know what is going on, you're already in a high blood pressure. So it is well. Thank you
so much, sir. So guys, I'm going to say my puzzle one more time just to kind of wind down because we'll be rounding up very soon. My puzzle for today, if you know the answer, please feel free to answer and you get the gift for today. My puzzle is, why did the computer show up late for work? Why did the computer show up late for work? Is a funny one. So if you know the answer, please feel free. I'm coming to you, Jenny G. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you so much for
The
your
reason why the computer show up late
for work.
at work is because it is man that operate it.
Nah, no. Thank you. Nice attempt, but no, that's not the answer. Thank you. Jenny G, I'm coming to you. Whilst people are still thinking about it, why did the computer show up late for work? If you know the answer, please feel free. If I laugh, you haven't gotten it right. So Jenny, how are you? My sister, it's been a while. Good to have you here. And I know you've heard more than enough today, but I still want to hear from you. What's your take on our topic for today? Shame.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. And this topic is such an important topic. And the Mr. and Mrs. Williams, and I couldn't see the rest of the name of the gentleman that just spoke. Prayers, something. Yes. Yes. So they have spoken, really touched everything we have talked about this evening. So one thing I just wanted to add is that shame is really, I think, one of the reasons why people feel shame. Two things. One is, I would say, upbringing, the way people are raised. If people grow up in a family where parents have harbored their own trauma and they didn't teach self-confidence to their children, as people like to go back and say, oh, parents said this to their kids, they did that. Parents are also human, parents can make mistakes. Yeah. Parents are living their life, teaching their children according to what they learned when they also grew up. That's I like to cut parents slacks a lot because they also had life. They were also children. They also were raised in an environment where they were also taught, and they grew up with the knowledge they gathered and the same thing that they sort of transmit to their children. So I think it's one of the things I always say to everyone, that one of the best gifts that my parents gave to us are to teach us about self-worth, self-respect, and self-discipline. And if you raise your kids, because growing up, I believe till tomorrow that my mother is the most confident person I know. That's it. So that shaped us in a way that there is nothing anyone can tell me that will make me feel bad about myself, because growing up, I have been also told this is what you're doing well. When you do well, of course, you're praised. And when you don't do well, you are scolded, which is very important as well. So being that, that helped a lot. So I remember when I was in high school, when I was so skinny. I was very, very skinny.
I told my story as well.
I was so skinny, and kids are cruel. But the thing is, being skinny didn't faze me. I kind of taught myself as a princess because I was never mocked for being skinny, like in my family, right? But kids are so cruel. They will do like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. They will call me I. They will do I. So, no, at one point I was called I the whole time. So I told my mom, she's like, no, what you should do is every single person has a body type, and their beauty is not just in one form. So my mother would tell us, like, I remember on Saturday, she will sit us down, like around, we do like therapy amongst ourselves, right? That woman is something else. So she will be like, okay, choose the best part of your body to you. What do you look at yourself in the mirror? What do you think is the best? Actually, I would be like, I like my face. I like my arm. Honestly speaking, I didn't even see something I didn't like. I think one of the reasons that another reason why people feel shame, or develop, should I say, low self-esteem, because it's low self-esteem that, stem from low self-esteem. And low self-esteem most of the time stem from comparison. Trying to compare yourself to other people, trying to compare what you have to others, So that's one of the reasons, even to today, in today's market, like people, let's face it, since I was a child to today, as a wife and a mother myself, beauty standards has changed multiple times.
Tell me about it.
Multiple times. Multiple times. There were times where, tall, black, and handsome, or beautiful, skinny black, and there was a time where, fair skin there was a time where curly hair, short hair. There was like, it's all about trend. It's game that society play on people for marketing purposes, to profit off and to sell products to people. That's the reason why they do these things, where the system tries to, the society try to have like a beauty different standards. This is that. So I think what my mom used to tell us, I grew up thinking about it. So I look at myself, I think if you're hearing so much negativity about the type of body you have, or about the type of personality that you have, then you will start thinking that, I'm not good enough. And when that happens, a person becomes easily shamed, right? Feel ashamed, a person becomes easily affected. Okay. And there are also people who purposely want to shame other people. Why? Because they are projecting their own pain onto the person. They're trying to project pain. They have, I call it trauma dump. So they have gone through something in their life. They don't know what to do. And oftentimes, there are horrible hurt people. when people are hurt, they're looking for someone else to dump their trauma or to create a conflict just to relieve from their own pain that they feel. So exactly. And if you're not like you don't have a thick skin, it can absorb people's trauma and they will kind of pull you into it and you have a very bad day. Yeah, trauma transfer is saying. So my encouragement is that every single person has a special something in there. Me, I'm a person who believe a lot in self-development. All right. We all have something special. So when there is also something that is a little bit insensitive that I'm going to say, but it's the truth. Right? Sometimes my father will tell us that sometimes when somebody kind of tease you, before you feel bad about what like what is said, check and see if it's true.
Okay.
Use that as an opportunity to improve something. Always. And I've always used that. So now, thank goodness I grew up in a family and environment I was opportuned to, because not everybody wants to like be in an environment where I was taught different things, even emotional intelligence growing up. So I kind of know it's when it's coming to me with conflict, I already know that it's only insecure person that will attack me for no reason. So I won't feel offended because I know it's coming from a place of fear, a place of pain, a place of confusion, a place of self insecurity for that person, fear. So of course I will not feel offended. And so it's difficult for someone to speak to me or to hurt me with their mouth. It's almost impossible, right? So I say that us as human beings, what we can do, because you cannot stop people from trying to shame you. You won't be able to change the world. It's not possible to change the world. I think that if we can be well equipped on how to receive what is told to us and how to transfer them into self-improvement, because sometimes people will tell you something like, oh, look at this, look at that. I will not pretend and be like, oh, yeah, what if your trousers are dirty somehow? What if something happened? Just take it, work on that, come out, let your revenge be improvement, right? And of course, if you want to disconnect with that people or those people, of course, you can put your boundary, right? You can set your boundary. It's very, very important to also have boundaries, just like Mr. and Mrs. William was saying, that it's very, very important to have a boundary, not to overshare, do not say, say too much. You only say things that need to be said to preserve yourself, because a lot of times people like to prey on the weak, prey on people who are vulnerable.
Prayer without works is dead. You have to pray and do some work.
Yeah, I was talking about prayer, prey, like to pray on to target. Yeah, to target people who are, yes, weak and vulnerable because they just want to see someone else down. So we had this in society where people say, oh, people should not say that, people should not say that. Okay, I will not say that, you will not say that, Mr. and Mrs. William will not say that, the other gentleman will not say that, but other people will. So how are you going to defend yourself? So that's the reason why I would always use the example I was taught growing up as a mother to my kids, something like I have, teenage children today, child today, right? So I always say to her, there's something I was told, look at yourself in the mirror. What do you don't like? Because these things are thoughts. No child will look at themselves in the mirror and think they are horrible or they don't like their hair. No, you will never see a child who will think they're not cute. It's when other people are poking on that particular child, saying, oh, you're too dark, you're too white, you're too skinny, you're too fat, you're too this, you're too that. That's when the people start seeing something wrong with them, right? Yeah. Another thing is that I take criticism very well because, again, the way I was raised, there are two kinds of criticism. No, because there are some people who will give you constructive criticism with the intention to improve, correct, educate, uplift differently. And there are some who would just criticize you because of they are projecting most of the time. It's a project like projection. So if we us I like when I hear people teaching, like she has taught today, you are teaching, Mrs. William is teaching. The gentleman also taught about, how proud he's about his wife, how he likes to, uplift her. I don't think that woman will ever feel insecure anywhere because
Oh, at
you
all.
understand, because the man has done the job. It's very, very important. Very
Indeed.
important. Also, I think if I'm talking to, like, if it happens to do like females, I think that also one of the reasons why sometimes females might grow up becoming insecure or having self-esteem issues is also come from the I wouldn't even say the absence of fatherhood, for example, or if they didn't have a father who praised them. For me, my father was a hero, and that's when I was choosing a husband. I looked at the way my father treated me. That was my first stepping stone on knowing that, okay, this person, what to expect from the man you want to get married to, the kind of treatment you want to expect, because how your father treated you, how you see your father treat your mom. Okay, of course, you cannot see everything because parents, they don't show you everything that goes on in their marriage. But from my own perspective, I didn't see things that shouldn't be seen, right? I know probably they have their issues in the closed doors when we're not looking, but that treatment, that where your father, kind of talk to you, encourage you, like proud. My father was proud of all of us, so that is the stepping stone for me. I'm like, I knew exactly what not to accept from the type of man I didn't want. Because always all the time, always and all the time you will hear, unfortunately, and I'm not trying to judge my fellow women, I'm just saying facts that are maybe uncomfortable to hear, but are facts and true, that we are the best judges for ourselves and lawyers, the best lawyers to others. We like to point and say, oh, that man is terrible, that man is horrible, that man is after everything I've done for you, you're such a horrible man. Da, da, da. But you forgot number one important thing: you chose that person. We're no longer in an environment where parents are the one I didn't think even my mother chose her own husband, right? Like it wasn't like in the 18th centuries where in Nigeria where your parents chose the man for you. All right, so you chose this person. Take responsibility, take accountability of that. You chose this person into your life. You could have done better. You could have, learned about people's temperament, what you can handle, what you cannot handle. The gentleman also mentioned. I don't know him. Just met him for the first time, so I don't know who he is. I'm just trying to, and I can only say pray. I'm not saying the rest of the name. Prayer. Okay, Prayer City. He mentioned about how people get married to somebody because of what they can obtain, and at the end of the day, they become ashamed that is like a man or a woman. It is true, though, that if you want to dive into the depth of marriage, that marriage is transactional. Everything we do transactional is about sharing values. What value a person is bringing in and what value you can receive from a person for being very honest, right? But when people are not looking at just, okay, what value does the person have to bring into my life? I like the value they're bringing in. Are you also looking at the person's temperament? Can you handle the person's temperament? Do your values even align? Do you understand? If
A whole
very
new topic altogether. I'm telling you.
I'm just going to cut it short. So
Yeah.
yes. So that's the thing. I think it stems from every shame is about, again, how do you see yourself? How if you value yourself, nobody can shame you.
At all.
No one can shame. I think it's start from self. Because people are always going to try to put you down, but if you value yourself, and I'm going to finish with this. Us human beings, we have our flaws and we have our qualities. Everybody has one. We have our strength and we have our weaknesses. So we have to do what I like. Self-assessment is very, very important. Like self-assessment, then self-awareness. Self-assessment. I did a book, my first book how many years ago, maybe about 7 years ago, something. Spoke about 6 effective steps to your better self. As you have your self-assessment, assess who you are, discover yourself, right? Know what you can handle and what you cannot handle. Then go into self-awareness, which is learning about your strengths and weaknesses, right? And your strengths and weaknesses, carry your strength, just like Mrs. Williams was saying, like be proud of it. Like scream and shout your strength.
Amazing.
Celebrate it, enjoy it,
Yeah.
be your own cheerleader.
Yeah.
Then your your weaknesses, work on them. We cannot stop working, we cannot stop growing ourselves. Work on them, and then you will accept the areas of part of your life, whether it's physical, emotional, or surroundings that you cannot change, which is self-acceptance, and then work on the areas you can change, improve yourself. Then you grow, and then you become confident. And if you're confident, no one can. People will speak, they will laugh. You'll be like, "Oh, it's me." Like you won't even care. Remember, the reason why people try to shame others, the number one goal is to pull you down. Number one goal to pull you down. When people feel challenged, like I think people who do that also are suffering from their own, low self-esteem. I like to learn every single day, anywhere I walk in, whether I don't look down on people, I must learn something. My father will say that the best inspiration comes from the trash, what you people consider trash. If I walk, you walk into anywhere, keep an open mind, listen, learn, share, and that's how we grow. And if you are a person who is like your mind health is together, no one can shame you. Like you will be the again, beauty is not just one form, it's multiple form. If beauty was one form, men and women will marry a particular type of people. Just like the gentleman said, he preferred thick women. There is someone else who prefers skinny women. There is something for everyone. So thank you for this platform. And I enjoy coming to once in a while when I'm in the street of TikTok. I don't come often live, but when I pass by, I see your program, I stop over. Because I'm always like willing to learn something new. Yes.
Thank you. Wow. Our time today, honestly, I'm even short of words. I've learned more than enough. I have to go and sit down and reflect on what everyone has said. And I hope that the people on the FY page, especially listening, have gained a lot of insight to this topic, shame. We shouldn't allow anyone to shame us. We shouldn't even shame ourselves as well. We need to know who we are. Please, next Sunday, Mrs. Williams is bringing part 2 of how did she put it again? Be yourself unapologetically. Just be yourself. Be who you are. Because if somebody say your face is looking this way, you go and change it. Another person will go and say it looks this way, you go and change. Well, you become a monster at the end of the day because you're not happy with who you are. So you just have to own yourself, be yourself. You are your unique self. I'm telling you, it's true. Otherwise, it's bad enough we're putting lipstick, putting all of those things. Now you want to cut some part and put some part. There's a whole lot going on out there in the world. It doesn't make it right. So you have to know. I'm telling you, you have to know yourself. I was even going to share because of time. I'm running up. And by the way, Queen Ella, at some point when Jenny G was speaking, she got the puzzle. She got the puzzle right. Queen Ella, you want to tell us the answer? Please unmute and tell us.
Yeah, the answer is
Show up late for work.
yeah, because he had a hard drive.
Yes, he had a hard drive, so he was late to work. So that was I had to give you the donut and 2 ice cream to relax for the evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So, in fact, I am full.
Yeah, forgetting the answer. It's just that, sorry, please, pardon me, pardon my manners. Forgetting the answer could have, put more smile in her face, forgetting the answer. I was thinking because it's a man that operated, I was talking from the on the physical strength aspect of it. So
it's a puzzle. Sometimes people tend to overthink, hard drive, like a computer. That's why I was late.
Yes. So. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Jenny G. You're welcome so much. Mrs. Williams, I must apologize.
Oh.
I must apologize to Mrs. Williams now because it's like I don't come around like I used to do every Sunday.
Oh,
I still want to apologize. It's very, very essential, believe me. Sometimes now my people, now then go hold me. My people will hold me. These days, the live stream, sometimes we stream for 4 hours, 5 hours.
Wow, this is the longest I've gone myself, so it's because we're learning.
Yes, me sometimes only me finish teaching because me I
I can
teach.
understand, man of God. Never mind,
Yes.
sir. I can understand, sir.
Sometimes
Thank you,
teaching,
Mama.
you know. Thank you, great woman of grace. You know, teaching is different from preaching. So
Oh yeah.
people want to be clear. People want to have clarity. So
Yes.
I'm by the grace of God. So many people don't know me. My names are Apostle Dr. Ebenezer C.G. Koko. I'm a humble servant of God by the grace of God. Staying here, living here in America. So you know, this is the first time I'm coming to your live stream.
But I know you from Mrs. Williams as well, so
Yes. So immediately I saw her, I said, wow, this live stream must be interesting. So, you know, sometimes I don't do this type of show. All I teach, anytime I want to do, I mostly I make it kind of do teaching on marriages and, you know, and she was always there as a guest. Like there is one that is coming up very soon. And it's going to be big. I really appreciate Mrs. Williams. I really appreciate the grace of God upon her life. So thank you for you see FunmiRoyal.
yes, thank you, sir. Thank you
Good.
so much for
Thank
being
God
here.
I don't spoil the name.
It's all right. Thank you,
I
sir.
look well. Thank you. So
Thank
thank you
you.
for having me. Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
having me. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
You're
Let me
welcome.
connect with the winner. I'm connecting with her now.
Queen Ella, please let's
Yeah.
connect with one another. I've always said that here. Stay
Yeah.
safe.
Bless you, Miss William. Bless you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
Chocolate. Oh, the lioness.
Thank
The
you. God
woman that
bless you.
loved Jesus. Okay,
Thank
go
you.
ahead, Mrs. Williams.
No. I'm appreciating you. That thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Enjoy my binu.
Hey. No, if you know Mrs.
Ọmọ
Williams
ọmọ
very
ọmọ
well.
ọmọ Jésù. Ọmọ Olúwa. Ọmọ Jésù. Ọmọ
So much.
Olúwa.
So much for honoring me here. Even me, I feel so blessed to have, big people on the street of TikTok come into my humble little self on Inside with FunmiRoyal. Thank you so much for making it a very, very insightful, very educative one today. I've learned a lot from people sharing their experiences and from wealth of experience from Prayer City, from Mrs. Williams. Thank you, Queen Ella, for sharing. I really, really appreciate, when we make it real so that people will know we're not just here to tell stories. This is real life scenarios we have brought here. So, if you're feeling shame right now, I mean, we've said a lot of things, and I want to believe today is the last day you will feel anything shameful about yourself, especially in terms of your body, because we really touched so much on that today. And we all know what the society, kind of portrays. Like I said, if you're not size 8, you cannot model for this or you can't do that. Everybody cannot be size 8. I'm telling you, everybody can. And Mrs. Williams, stop buying big boo-boo clothes now. Why will you buy 18? What do you want me to buy? When you're buying 18, what do you want me to buy? Please, I beg. Go if not.
No, but the truth is this, Mrs. Williams, if not because of our time is fast spent.
Yeah.
The truth of the matter, our time is fast spent for those in the UK, is that there are people who also, when we bring it to the church, there are also people who feel shame. They are like a kind of, I don't preach like this pastor. I don't have more knowledge of God's word like him. They are ashamed. They don't want to humble themselves to learn. So when we talk about this teaching, it's vast. So
It is.
that is vast. It's not something shame. It's vast. It's not relying to only body. It's
At
not
all.
relying to only relationship.
Every aspect of life, yes.
Is vast. You know, this teaching is vast. It's not something you will say, let me narrow it to what. It's vast. It's something that can touch even with those who you are working with in the office, who are intimidated in the face of you. Immediately they see you, they are ashamed. They say, Kai, I cannot. All those stuff. So it's vast. It's not one place.
Yeah. Thank
No
you.
problem.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
sir. Thank you.
So I have to go. I have to go now.
I'm rounding up now. Yeah, thank you so much for being part of Insight with FunmiRoyal today. I really, really appreciate everyone for their gifting, their tapping, their liking, their sharing. God bless you. I wish you a wonderful night rest. Well, if you're going to work now, I mean, God will give you
Wonderful night
strength.
rest. Well, if
Thank you, Mrs. Williams. Thank you so much. Thank you, Prayer City. Lovely having you here, sir.
Thank
Queen
you. God bless you
Ella,
all.
my puzzle winner.
God bless
Thank you
you
so
all.
Thank
much.
you
Thank
so
you.
much. Till I come your way again on Thursday, where we'll be talking about some topics on marriage, relationships. I remain yours truly, Funmi Royal. I'll see you then. Have a lovely night rest. God bless you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
let
Thank
this
you, guys.
light that's
Thank you.
within me shine to the whole world, whole world.
Thank you, manager. Thank
Let
you.
the
Good night,
dawn of
everyone.
a new day bring
Thank you.
understanding.